million policy. Select Quote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060.
Select Quote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Fat broads and horse-faced lesbians.
Shut up, silly woman. I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Don't conduct yourself in a democracy.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
It's all Fugazi. You know what Fugazi is?
Fugazi, it's a fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real. Right? All right.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the Friday edition of the program. This is Joey Clark live in the studio with me. I think Eddie isn't here yet because, well, let's check in. I've got that device that can read his mind.
Always be closing.
Oh, okay.
Always be closing.
But Craig Monger is here right on time. How you doing today, Craig?
I'm doing fantastic. Unlike Eduardo, I am not tardy today.
He's got a good excuse.
Yeah.
Like he's got to actually make money somehow.
Yeah. What's that like?
Yeah, people making money in radio.
Hey, Eddie, pass the Dutchie.
Yeah, that doesn't ever happen. So, number one, how's your week been, man? It's the first normal week of the new year.
Man, I'm still recovering. Those 2 back-to-back midweek vacations threw my internal clock all the way off. So, like,
yes.
Wednesday, I thought Wednesday was Friday, and as
yes.
the cold reality set in, it just got sadder and sadder.
Oh, yeah. And, well, there's been a lot of fun in the new year. Like, it seems Greenland wants to be independent, saying the status quo can't hold, which is interesting.
Interesting. I didn't know that anyone lived on Greenland.
Yeah, it's like 56,000 people. It's smaller than Montgomery, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Trump was sentenced today, much to everybody's chagrin. Everybody wanted to, like, throw Amy Coney Barrett, the Supreme Court justice, like, off the long plank. Just keep on walking. Just keep on walking, Amy. But, it worked out because the sentencing was, and he was sentenced to an unconditional discharge. Trump was.
Well, I heard 1 in 6 men, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, unconditional discharges. That does sound, you got to look up. It's, I guess, a legal term of art.
Yes.
Let's hope not a medical term of art.
Well, I mean, I think it is, but one that is far more serious than the one that Trump got.
But that means no jail time, no prison time, no probation, no fines, no conditions at all. Unconditional discharge. And Judge Merchan essentially said, the American people voted. The citizens essentially saved you. They gave you the powers and immunity of the presidency, and you know what? I'm not going to stand in the way of that. I'm like, all right. Wow, I didn't see that coming from that guy. But Trump, of course, himself, they did it through Zoom, was ripping the whole court and the whole process a new one. But yeah, no jail time, no probation, but that means Trump is a convicted felon officially. So he's just like Nelson Mandela.
Essentially, he got the same treatment as OJ. It's like, we know you did it, but get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here.
You're guilty, but get out of here.
Did you pay the porn star or not? Did you pay the porn star or not, Donnie?
Isn't it so funny that she was like almost sainted because you slept with a married man for money, took the hush money,
Yeah.
and then like 20 years later, whenever you thought you could get some clout off it, you decided to create a big stink with your garbage human being of a lawyer.
Yeah, and
that was actually touted as a possible presidential candidate for like a few months.
Michael Avenatti.
Yeah.
Right. And then she's on national TV talking about mushrooms, baby mushrooms for some reason.
Yeah, and then they'll turn around and be like, "We need to return to decency." It's like, well, you literally had a whore comparing the president's anatomy to fungus on national television. Please tell me more about being the decent party.
See, I don't know what's actually true of that story, but what I believe to be true, what I choose to believe to be true, is that Trump did in fact get spanked by Stormy Daniels with a magazine of his own face on the cover. I want to believe that to be true.
Yeah, but I don't believe. I believe that is true. I again, because I want it to be. But I do think that she was lying. I just get the impression that Trump is hung like Guy Fawkes. I don't know why, but that's just. I don't want to
know. I don't want to know. Oh,
I tried to think of another famous person that was hanged, but I all of them were offensive immediately. So Guy Fawkes was the only one that came to mind.
Hello, Eddie. How you doing today?
Thanks for that lead in. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean,
always be
closing, right?
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
It is how it is.
But
it's day and time. Yeah.
Speaking of Stormy Daniels, look who else is tardy.
Didn't she have to give him his money back? Wasn't that part of the deal? At some point, she had to give him. Some money
I think
back?
there was some
because she broke the NDA,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but again, no prison.
Ridiculous.
Wait, this is the coolest thing. Like, I get no prison time. I have no fines. Like, I don't have to report for probation or parole or any of that. But I still get to be like, I'm a convicted felon.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you like guns, that might be a big problem.
It might be, but he can just hire people.
That's true. Yeah.
And also, it's like street cred. Like, I'm a felon.
Hire people to get you shot at a campaign event. Yeah, good idea. Here's a fat lesbian that will do nothing while you get shot in the ear.
Yeah, I don't even
150 yards away from a spurg with iron sights. Congratulations. I'll arm myself. Thank you very much.
It's almost like we do have too much to talk about today because Trump, I want to start with this. Trump got into it with all the governors, like all the Republican governors met with him.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody tagged me going, look at Kay Ivey. She didn't look right.
She was, I saw the video and I'm like, man, that looks like back in the day whenever you'd be up for a couple of days on that happy powder and that jaw would just be going.
And as Ron DeSantis I'm sorry, the clip of DeSantis where she's in the background, DeSantis didn't seem cool to me. It seemed whiny and like, all right, Ron, yeah, okay, that was a hit like 10 years ago. Stop playing the same one-hit wonder.
She looks so fed up with Ron DeSantis in that clip.
She's like, let us go home.
And her jaw is sitting there going, I'm like, is she thirsty? Is it time for the noon cocktail?
Sure, Missy was here, I'd have her bite you.
What is the cocktail in Florida? Like we kind of get that, if
Fireball.
If Ivy was going to sip a cocktail, it'd be a mint julep, 100%.
Right.
But like, is Four Loko the official cocktail of Florida?
Four Loko, Fireball.
Yeah, South Alabama.
Well, in the Panhandle, it's Southern Comfort.
I think that would be like man. You know what that should be? That should be a Florida drink. It is a shot of Fireball in a glass of Four Loko, like an Irish car bomb. We need to think of a name for it because that is Florida AF. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, that's straight up Florida.
What's the name? What does it need to be?
Pat Gator. No, it doesn't roll off the tongue just right.
Plus, I wonder how it's going to taste too. It's got to, because you got several flavors of Four Loko.
Yeah.
And so, do you want? Depends on what side of Florida you want.
Do they still have all that caffeine in there?
I have not had a Four Loko in a decade. So
okay,
I know they made them change the recipe because it was just
about to
too
say.
good.
Yeah, you could call it a Florida heart attack.
Yeah, people would talk about, oh man, don't get me in tequila. Tequila makes me crazy. It's like, have you ever had a Four Loko?
Yeah,
you'll start a beer hall putsch
in a hurry.
But anyway, Trump is there at this whole gathering of Republican governors, and there's so many just delicious clips that fell out from it. In particular, this one, everybody noticing yesterday at the Jimmy Carter funeral that Barack Obama and Donnie from Queens Trump and Obama were like besties.
Yes.
I've been calling, Fetterman and Senator Britt besties for the resties, but I don't know. I'm thinking Obama and Trump might be the
They had
real
a moment.
besties.
I'll be there for you.
That show had a moment.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Hillary was just in front looking, just seething, just oof.
You know, the episode, Barack, where they find out that the mail is addressed to Shenandoah Bong? You remember that? Yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, here's Trump being asked about that moment with Obama while he's sitting with all the Republican governors.
Off the top, you mentioned the Carter funeral today. What were you talking to Barack Obama about?
It did look very friendly, I must say. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it, how friendly it looked. I saw it on your wonderful network just a little while ago before I came in, and I said, boy, they look like two people that like each other, and we probably do. We have little different philosophies, right? But we probably do. I don't know, we just got along, but I got along with just about everybody on that. We met backstage, as you know, before we went on, and I thought it was a beautiful service, but we all got along very well, which is good.
I love that it's like, yeah, we probably do. We probably get along just fine. And there was a lip reader for the New York Post saying it sounded like Barack asked him about something sensitive, and Trump's like, yeah, let's talk in a place that's quiet. We really do need to settle this thing. So it's some inside president thing.
Yeah, it's a different lip reader than I saw. The one I saw, it was Trump going, "Where's Big Mike?"
Yeah, I know. We covered that
kind of
yesterday.
giggled about it. Yeah.
Where's Mike? Where's Mike? I don't know if that's the name, but that's what some say.
It's happening.
How does that work, Barack? Physiologically, I have some experience in this area.
Now, if you tell me, I'll tell you all about Stormy.
Stormy, let me tell you, the name does not match the personality. She was essentially a dead horse.
Horse face, Stormy Daniels.
Horse face, Stormy Daniels.
So, okay, now Trump.
Sugar cubes are a great aphrodisiac, let me tell you, Barack.
She loves carrots.
She loves carrots.
That's actually how she gets the tan.
Yeah. I thought she was just grumpy. It turns out she hadn't been reshoed in quite some time.
Now, here we have Trump. Eddie and I kind of got into this discussion about Zuckerberg changing his ways and the big changes at Meta.
Is he the one that sank the Titanic? Oh, no, that was a different one.
And I'm not saying I was right in that argument, Eddie. I'm not saying you have to forgive Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not saying you have to trust Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I think Mark Zuckerberg was kind of like, oh, God, I can breathe again. And now I'm going to go in this direction.
Give me just a second now. If I were to come to you today and go, Joey, I just need a blank forgiveness for everything I've done to you. And you'd be like, I know some things you might have done, but what else? I just need a blank forgiveness.
I would give you mercy, my son.
I don't think you would.
He didn't even act. He didn't even go that far. He didn't even ask for any forgiveness whatsoever.
Exactly. This is what I'm doing.
He just kind of said, man, this company that I run has been really scummy, so we're going to make it not scummy. You're welcome, I'm definitely not
starting
sorry.
I'm just saying what we want to do here is win. We want to win. And there's this taste of vengeance in everybody's mouth these days, treason dripping from everybody's lips for several years now. And so Trump's asked about these Johnny-come-latelys, which they are, and Zuckerberg in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Let's listen in.
We've been watching over the last couple weeks, a lot of CEOs, including some who censored you 4 years ago, have been coming down here basically to kiss the ring. Did they change or did you change?
Well, maybe we all changed. I think they've gained a lot of respect.
Thanks, John Lennon.
I love that. That's the best.
Maybe it was all us.
Okay, I'll back it up. Let's hear the whole thing.
Change or did you change?
Well, maybe we all changed. I think they've gained a lot of respect. I think they looked at the mandate that we got. As you know, we won the popular vote, as I said. We won all 7 swing states. They said, well, if Trump would win, I had to win 3 because I had a lot of early voting going on, and we had to win 3, and we won all 7. And we won them by a lot. We didn't win them by a little. We won them by a lot. And we won the popular vote by a lot. I think that had an effect. I also think it's like, let's get something done. You look at what happened with Facebook today and yesterday, what they announced. That was a big concession from them. I mean, they went from I call them the unlocked boxes. They call them lock boxes. I call them the unlocked boxes because they seem to be unlocked a lot of times. But you went from the unlocked boxes into a statement yesterday that's really talking about free speech. What a difference that is. And so we appreciate that. But I think they've gained a lot of respect. We've had everybody. Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times.
Shut your face, Joey. This is going to go off the rails.
Sorry,
Keep it professional.
I didn't mean to pause it there. Like, let's keep going.
Talking about free speech, what a difference that is.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate that. But I think they've gained a lot of respect. We've had everybody. Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came.
Yeah.
Many of them came numerous times.
Wow.
The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming. I haven't had anybody saying anything bad about me. I'm not used to it. But a lot of it's respect. I think they respect the Republican Party. The Republican Party has become a much bigger party. It's become a party for the worker. You know.
Oh, God. I turned 30 in 3 days. That's hilarious.
I just turned 36. It's still funny. And he's in his 50s. It's funny.
Shut up. Trying not to laugh.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I
Like a
thought,
9-year-old?
Joey, I couldn't even look at you. My God.
so I thought the beginning was funny.
Have been coming down here basically to kiss the ring. Did they change or did you change?
Well, maybe we all changed.
I love that line.
Yeah, and everybody's stopping by. You know?
Statement yesterday that's really talking about free speech. What a difference that is. And so we appreciate that. But I think they've gained a lot of respect. We've had everybody.
Everybody, right?
Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming.
Happy as they can be.
All coming to kiss the ring.
Yeah, bow down and kiss the ring of the man.
Right.
I tell you, I want an AI rendition of everyone that he mentioned performing the We Are the World. I want Donald Trump to go, there comes a time we hear the certain call. And then just like I want Zuck in the back, we are the world. Yeah, I gotta see it.
Yeah, who's Cyndi Lauper? Who's Huey Lewis? We got to figure out who to put on what.
Well, Cyndi Lauper is 100% gotta be Nancy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Who's not doing well.
Because she comes in that version, Lauper does, with that kind of it's not a good sound.
Well, there's a clip where you can see when she sings and Huey Lewis sings, Michael Jackson's looking at him.
Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
And then even when Bob Dylan comes on, you're kind of like, what the?
No, Michael's about to use his deep voice. These honkies over here. He does have that. Michael Jackson has a normal deep voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't use it often in public. He did it in one concert. There's a clip. He used it in a wrestling video game where Michael Jackson is a character in the wrestling video game. Oh, you don't want to play now, son. Like he's like real deep and like, I'm like, what is this?
That would be like if suddenly Mike Tyson had a deep voice. It just wouldn't.
Right.
Just wouldn't go.
Man, I tell you though, Michael Jackson, for all his personal failures, man, that boy had some pipes. Yeah.
He is the bard.
Yeah, I mean, it was great.
He is the king.
It was so funny when they tried to do, what was it, after Haiti, when they tried to do a different version of that, but they did Eric Clapton's Tears in Heaven, and it had like Elton John and Ozzy Osbourne and Slash, and it was okay, mainly because Ozzy comes in and he makes everything better. Of
course.
But it was just really cringy what they tried to do. Ugh, yeah.
I don't like that.
Generate some money, you know.
It's like getting everybody together and like doing some fake song is not the thing. And it would be great though to see all these folks.
Yeah, but the party they got to have while they were doing that song,
Yeah.
who wouldn't want to be part of that?
Yeah, lots of
Quincy Jones freak off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wait, that was Diddy. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones may.
You know, lots of people in L.A. are really happy because of all these fires.
Yeah.
Because all the Diddy evidence is burnt it up.
Interesting. And speaking of that, they're catching more and more people in the act of arson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen one on Twitter yesterday. Literally, they were just
Oh, and
filming it.
everyday citizens calling them out and threatening to whoop them. Like, it's pretty crazy out there. I think I just saw a drive-by. I think it was a drone vehicle going down the PCH, I think, and Malibu's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
I'm really conflicted.
You saw where the drone hit the plane?
What?
No, I didn't see
Hit
that.
one of the one of their little scoopers, air scooper or water scoopers, planes out of commission because they hit a drone.
And the last number I saw is 10 dead. It's amazing the number's not higher.
It's going to be higher. I think. You think about how many people could get out.
And the looting has started.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it's L.A.
Yeah.
It's and then the response, especially from the mayor there.
Yeah, oh God.
It's awful. Like, and to some of these reporters' credit, they're just like not even the tone of voice you can hear. Like, we're not even playing the same game we've been playing for too long anymore. I mean, will it change in months and months ahead? Because the more you look at this, the more they failed miserably.
Yeah.
Failed absolutely miserably.
Well, I think Adam Carolla brought up a good point. I think it had to be yesterday. All these fires that burned, all these places that were beautiful on the coast, all these rules that they helped put up to stop other people from building, they're fixing to have to fight all that now.
Right.
How much red tape is fixing to be in their way?
Right.
Because right now you couldn't, where those houses were, you couldn't build. And now there's nothing there. I don't know if they're really going to let them rebuild.
And you know how we were covering how especially that one woman saying my 90-year-old parents' fire insurance was removed? Before you immediately jump and point at the insurance company, which I wouldn't blame you if you did, but before you do that, let's listen to this clip. It's from Patrick Bet-David's show, one of his business advisors. And by the way, Bet-David made his money in the insurance industry, so he kind of, I think, is a little, everybody's reactionary about their own expertise, right? But this actually is something I didn't know. This is amazing. Let's listen in.
State Farm non-renewed 69% of the policies it had in Pacific Palisades. Data point this morning confirmed. State Farm said last year, we're non-renewing 69% of the homes we insure currently today in Palisades. Why? Long-term brush risk and poor management of the common area.
You can't blame them.
No, I'm not blaming them.
I know you're not, but what I'm saying is you cannot blame. The business has to make profits, and when the regulators make their life a living hell and make them look bad, what do you want us to do, take a loss every year?
Correct. Now I'm going to the punchline. Why did they do that? Because the county of LA and the city of LA had suspended brush removal in Palisades.
100%.
Wow.
This comes down to the county.
Are you joking?
Yeah, you can find it. You can find it was suspended here. Casual brush removal suspended here. Limited brush removal suspended here. This is all going to come out because Zach Levi
That's
and
when
other
Trump
people
said he got to clean the floor.
Yeah,
and the floor
that's exactly right. And who did, by the way, to his credit, what do you say? You said, get smarter people in the room with you.
Yeah.
Who did he praise? You know, the people in Finland have had policies and they've been doing this for a while.
Right. Yeah.
So he's not saying, hey, I'll fix it. He's saying, you know, this problem has been solved.
There's another case study. We have it. They did it. Why don't we learn from them and fix it?
That's exactly right. And so I'm not down on the insurance companies. I'm saying the insurance companies are at the bottom of the waterfall, and at the top of the waterfall is the state with their policies and budget cuts on fire and brush suppression and all the things that they've done, despite the level of taxes they're collecting. And now they collect the tax. They have the money. Prices of homes are way up, so property tax is up. But what are they doing with the money? Homeless programs, sanctuary city programs are wasting the money on non-citizen spends. Citizen spends, you're keeping the valleys and the areas clear of brush, and you're working on that. Non-citizen spend, you have all these pet DEI projects. That's the upstream problem. The money was spent on other stuff.
Incredible. Yeah. Incredible.
Once again, Donnie comes in looking like a genius.
Oh, yeah, and Byron Sheehy and I yesterday he found the ordinance for homeowners and renters. Like all these requirements for maintaining brush and whatnot, and you're maintaining your property. And you look at it, it's fairly thorough, and then you're like, well, how much is this actually enforced? Like the laws are there, the code is there. Like there were people thinking about this problem ahead of time going, okay, here's what the standards should be. Again, this only applied to property owners. You're not talking about the larger forest and other areas. Right. But you wonder who is actually even enforcing that? Who is actually keeping up those standards?
Nobody, apparently.
And so now it makes sense that these insurance companies jumped out because it's like, well, look at what y'all have failed to do.
And now they've proven why. I mean, they literally proven why they bailed out.
Yeah, and it's not even just the homeowners too. It's just the government not managing the public land well at all, not doing controlled burns, not cleaning up anything.
Just the basics. Just the basics.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Craig and I you watched the Mel Gibson, Joe Rogan thing this morning. Yeah, I watched most of it, if not all of it, last night. While he was on Joe Rogan, while Mel Gibson was on Joe Rogan, his home was burning down. His mansion was burning down. Let's listen to a little of this. This is a local news station, or no, excuse me, this is News Nation. Mel Gibson called into
me by phone right now. Mel, I am so sorry to be talking to you under these circumstances. I'm looking at video of the ruins of what was once your home. I got to ask you how you're doing.
I'm doing good. You know, it's just a thing. But, you know, it is obviously, it's kind of devastating. It's emotional. You know, you lived there for a long time and you had all your stuff. You remember George Carlin talking about your stuff? Yeah. I had my stuff there, and it's all like, I've been relieved from the burden of my stuff because it's all in cinders.
Yeah.
Well, at least he seems to be taking it.
Took it a hell of a lot better than I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have a couple $100 million in the bank?
Right.
Yeah.
When I came home and my place looked like that.
Yeah.
Everything I owned besides what was on my back was gone. Just gone.
Do you have insurance?
Yeah, that was another battle.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it took forever.
You'll get paid out in like 24 months.
Yeah, that was another battle. But it's an awful feeling. It's the worst feeling in the world. And not to knock the guy, because he was just doing his job, but as I pulled up and there's nothing left in my house. A 17-year-old volunteer fire department kid come up and he goes, "Hey, is this your place?" And yeah. He said, "Hey, man, it's a total loss." And he walked away. And I mean, within a minute, I had a neighbor, and thank God he did. He came and embraced me and reminded me everything was going to be all right. But it takes a long time to get back.
Well, and that feeling, that memory you're revisiting, let's multiply that by what, millions of people now?
And that was
If
another
not,
thing.
maybe a little shy of that, but a lot of people are now experiencing just that.
I watched the guy yesterday, and it was heartbreaking. And he came up to a reporter, and he said, "My house is not on fire. The houses around me are on fire. I'm just trying to get somebody to come help me save my house."
Yeah.
And granted, he went to her because it was the next person that he saw, and she just kept wanting to ask him questions. And eventually his house did get saved, and probably because of her, people got together and were able to save his house. But in that moment of just absolute desperation, put the mic down. If you can't help the guy, find some help for him. Don't just sit there and ask him more questions. Like, how's it feel?
Yeah, and that's I couldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. In the middle of it,
I
it's
felt
like,
so
no.
bad for the guy.
Yeah, that's rough.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. We do have a lot to get to today. There's a lot to get to. Very serious stuff going on all over the world, including here in Montgomery. In a second, I want to get to a story you did, Craig. Mother claims 18-year-old Montgomery murder suspect shot daughter in 2022, suspected in other killings without being questioned by the police.
Wow.
Again,
but we got that water park.
Right.
Anybody want a zip line?
Yeah, it's going great. It's going real great.
Amazon is coming to Montgomery. Did you hear that?
Oh yeah, that little hub there.
Yeah, it's great. It's booming. It's booming over here. Right. You know what else booms? Gunshots.
And is this the suspect in what happened on Zelda Road?
Oh, it happened on Tuesday. Took a shot at a cop too.
Yep.
Took a shot at the Montgomery PD public information officer, which I thought was kind of strange that she was on patrol.
What, it's Saba?
Yeah. She was the one who got shot at by the scumbag.
Glad she's all right.
Yeah, me too. I sent her a message as soon as that, because that MPD didn't release it, but it was in the complaint, the complaint about the guy. So this guy, there was two people involved in the alleged murder. Only one is charged with shooting at Officer Coleman. So I'm, again, very, very glad that she's all right. But it is just, I know they're short-staffed, but my God, like your public information officer is on patrol.
Deck, I guess.
What the heck?
Right. And there's just moments where I don't know. This show's a little bit like life. There's ups and downs. We were just laughing our heads off, and now, all the seriousness of it. But the show will continue. We got to hit a break here in a second. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the conversation, that's 334-272-9228.
Yeah.
This part of the program brought to you by, a great establishment, Sweet Creek Farm Market. And there at Sweet Creek, Reed Ingram is ready to help you out. And even on a cold, cold day like today, Sweet Creek has your back because they have that award-winning cafe So you get a nice warm cup of coffee.
Oh yeah.
As you shop that great store they have. You can do your grocery stop in there. Always get in fresh produce, baked goods, whether it's the swamp cookies or all sorts of big old honking like hubcap sized cookies.
Yeah. There were some great ones. I think Sam brought us those big hubcap cookies the other day. They were delicious.
Yeah, and then layer cakes. Like, oh
I'm into
man,
that.
all sorts of layer cake. I mean, I know you like layer cake.
I'm into that.
I know you're into that sort of thing. And of course, they have those like hard to find things. Like Byron yesterday was talking about that rhubarb jelly, rhubarb
that's cool.
jam, and yeah, it might be you have memories of certain things that just you can't find in a chain store. Well, go to Sweet Creek; they probably have it. And of course, they've got pecans. They've got all sorts of stuff there. Sweet treats, great lunch if you just want a wonderful sandwich. They do it all. My point is, Sweet Creek Farm Market is a true establishment. Stop by today, just 2 miles south of Taylor Road on Highway 231. Find Reed Ingram, and be sure to tell him that Joey and Eddie and Craig, those guys on the radio, sent you. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228.
A lot of times. But you went from the unlocked boxes into a statement yesterday that's really talking about free speech. What a difference that is. And so we appreciate that. But
I'm just happy Trump's happy. He does seem very happy at this whole press conference.
I think they've gained a lot of respect. We've had everybody. Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming. I haven't had anybody saying anything bad about me. I'm not.
Everybody's going to kiss Donnie from Queens ring. More after the break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Before you buy new floors at a discount store and get them installed by the cousin of a friend who does this kind of thing, consider the better option. Prattville Carpet carries the most reputable brands for selection, style, and quality you can trust. And with their non-transferable lifetime installation warranty, you'll never have to worry about hardwood warping or carpet buckling. Your floors will stay as beautiful as the day they installed them.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
With winter storm weather on the way, our friends at Alabama Power are prepped and ready for the added challenges that ice, falling trees, and extreme temperatures can bring. And you can also take steps to prepare. For winter storm safety tips and how to manage cost and energy usage while staying warm, visit alabamapower.com/winter weather or alabamapower.com/winter. Alabama Power's top priority is to keep the lights on and the heat running no matter what Mother Nature sends our way. Everybody stay safe and warm out there.
Hello, this is David Ernest with Ernest Financial. And just like Ernest Financial makes lots of money for our clients, Blue Water has helped us make lots of money for our company. You cannot go wrong with advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m. The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Well, hi, everybody. For us, for the rest of the day, we're mainly talking about a cold rain now, with a high temperature today barely up to about 39. Tonight, the rain will continue into the evening hours before ending. Overnight low temperature down close to freezing, 32, 33 before all is said and done. Then a cold day on Saturday with a high temperature only up to about 40. Cloudy skies, then sunshine later, down to 24 on Saturday night. And Sunday's high only up to about 50 with more sun. Arctic air still hanging on. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
It's not too late to apply for an ASE holiday loan or transfer high interest rate balances to a low fixed rate ASE credit card. Call 334-270-9011 or online yourasecu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we call this show online, Joey Clark Live. 272-9228 if you want to join in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. And let's go right to those phones and talk to Virginia. Hey, Virginia, how you doing?
Virginia. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right.
I've been listening to the radio this morning while I've been working in the kitchen. That's usually about the only time I'm close enough to it just to listen. But you were discussing the fire situation out in California and how bad it was and so forth. And the thought came to me that I have read where those who are supposed to know say that a house fire that destroys everything is as bad as a death in the family. And that's, I suppose it is, when you think about it, especially for some people who lose everything.
Oh, yeah. It's, it's your life often is it's not the actual stuff, but it's like all the time you spent to earn that stuff, the routines you develop for yourself. It is like a death. You're right.
Irreplaceable. And the things you don't know you lost until years later.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Your pictures and things like that were burned. Well, thank you. That's all I needed to say.
Thank you,
Appreciate it, Virginia. Thank you for listening. 272-9228. Before I move away from this Trump press conference with all the governors surrounding him, he was asked about a story that seemed to just go away. Remember how we were talking about the drones?
Yeah.
All over the country. Drones everywhere. And then the Cybertruck blows up in front of the Trump Hotel in Vegas, and the guy who did it is apparently sending emails to Sean Ryan and others in the veterans community who have podcasts that, I know what these are, and they're gravitic engines or something like that. I don't know what to believe in that regard. But then the story just kind of went away.
Right, quit. Right.
Well, Trump is asked about the drones.
Any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you said that you knew you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
Just one quick comment, which is...
This is the governor of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin.
We are home to the largest naval base in the world in Quantico, and we house a lot of the SEAL teams and have a huge national security infrastructure. And now for 2 years running, we have had drone incursion over secure airspace, and we still don't know why. And I think that's absolutely unacceptable. And I think President Trump and the new leadership coming in, I think, will work diligently to understand who's behind this and what we do in order to stop the digital surveillance of all of our secure infrastructure.
Dangerous? Well, I can tell you this. While we were dealing with a terrorist attack in New Orleans...
Where do you think that governor's from?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. No, the way my mama made that scrambled egg and make me happy,
We had drones being flown over our nuclear reactors in Louisiana.
Wow.
And we brought that attention to the FAA. We've been asking the FAA to give these states the ability to mitigate these drones, and it's sitting on some bureaucrat's desk. And that's real.
Nobody knows. They don't want to talk about it. Go ahead, Governor, you're going to say?
I was just going to say we have drones in Wyoming flying over our infrastructure as well. And it's incredibly frustrating that we not only have no way of knowing what it is, but nobody knows how to deal with them.
They don't want to talk about it, and nobody knows why. They don't want to talk about it. That could be us sending drones. I hope that's the case, us doing it and doing research, and maybe they don't want to talk about it from that standpoint. I hope it's not an enemy, but we're going to find out on the 21st, the day after. You have to give me a little time for the inauguration, but shortly thereafter, we'll give you a report on it. We'll tell you exactly what it is. They know, and it's very strange that they aren't talking about it.
Yeah, no doubt they know, because a lot of those places have geofences around them. Like a hobbyist like me, I can't fly them. I can try to send my drone there, but it hits this invisible wall and it just comes to a stop. So anybody that can get around that, obviously not hobbyists. They're either on the inside or they're up to nefarious.
Yeah, and I just real quick, what is up with these Republican governors? Are they dyeing their hair with Kikkoman soy sauce? My Lord, it's horrible.
Who was it a while back that started dripping?
No, that was
Giuliani.
Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
you can get there's Kay Ivey. It's not really in focus, but Kay's near the head of the table.
Yeah.
And I like that she's all natural.
Yeah, I agree.
If she was going to the salon to get her hair dyed and did, I don't know if I.
No, see, I like it when the guys just accept reality, and they're just like, "Hey, it's going great." But the other ones where they treat their hair like a salmon skin roll at the hibachi, yeah, no. But no, it is interesting with I am unimpressed and unenthralled with the conversation about the gravitational manipulation mainly because it's like I feel like in order to test that, they would have destroyed the Earth because you can't. Gravity is everywhere, including space. People think that like space is void of gravity.
It's just left thereof.
No, it's just you're literally falling, but the universe is moving at the rate of your own falling, so you're just stationary. But gravity still exists in space. So if you're going to figure out, you can't like locally manipulate gravity. And it would require a tremendous amount of energy. And in order to test it, again, I'm not an expert in these things, but it seems like you would call some sort of cataclysmic event universal by finding out a way to manipulate gravity. So I'm unenthused by that. I'm also unenthused by the alien conversation.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what alien uses like FAA required blinking lights on their craft.
Trying to sneak in.
Yeah. I am one of you.
Right.
Pay no attention.
Well, and the gravitic engines or whatever make more sense with things like the Tic Tac video.
Right.
So if a vessel in the air is actually moving in a way that defies physics, and it could, I guess, be a holographic thing. Maybe it's complete fake, but it's out there, and they're catching it with all sorts of different angles.
The guy that's talking about this instead of things like we should know, like the Epstein list.
Yeah.
That there's actually something there.
Yeah.
With an actual name on it.
Oh no, there is something there, and again, I think the most convincing theory I've seen is the sort of the idea that they're searching for something, that they're looking for something, because there's no way that if we actually didn't know what it was, that if the feds didn't actually know what it was, that they wouldn't have shot them down.
Great point, because look how they freak out over.
Could they shoot
anything?
Could they? They
would they have taken a shot?
It depends on what we're talking.
Would they at least put a jet up in the air? Yeah.
Don't they have to have some sort of directional EMP type thing where they can just
Well, for drones now, if you look at the North Koreans' weapons that they brought over, which is hysterical, they just got 5 AR-15s lined up on one rail. That's their anti-drone weaponry, which isn't horribly ineffective, but it's ridiculous. But they do have EPM ones or EMP ones that will just take down that herd, if you will. Yeah. I don't know why they don't deploy it.
A good kind of anecdote about this, and I got this from Luis Elizondo, who should be, I think, back on the show January 27th. Look forward to having him on back on a Monday. But he talks about the, what was the old spy plane, the U-2, and how the U-2 did these reconnaissance missions over the Soviet Union, and it got back unscathed, and we had all these photos and stuff. It's like, oh, it worked. They can't even see it. No, the Soviets had seen, but it saw it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But they didn't quite understand what to do, and they didn't know how to shoot it down. As soon as they knew how to shoot it down, they did.
Yep.
And then they said, yeah, we've known y'all have been doing this for a while. So if the government doesn't have the capability to destroy a thing, or especially if they don't know what it is, they are going to be very quiet about it, because that to me is like it's a huge breach of that sense of security and national security. As much as it's the practical ability to actually do things, it's also a sense of deterrence. Like what people think you're capable of is very crucial to that. And so if these things are defying their capabilities, I mean, to me, the most reasonable explanation of the drones, as opposed to some of the weirder crafts that have been seen, it's the United States, or it's China, or it's some state-based agency or state-based operation. And maybe they can't stop it. It could very well be a new technology they don't know how to stop. They see it, they know about it, but they don't know how to stop it, so they're not going to talk about it.
But to me, by now, we would have captured something of that, reverse engineer it, and be using it against. If it were
No, I bet we have.
Yeah.
Or I bet maybe we have the tech too.
To me, it's us. I don't think it's anybody else.
Who knows? It is a big mystery, and it's fascinating seeing all the governors there kind of backing up everyday people's suspicions, going like, yeah, we're frustrated as hell about this.
We've been told to get in line yet.
Right.
Yeah, it would be odd. I'm very skeptical whenever people in power decide to start blaming foreign governments, because it's like, okay, when are we going to invade?
Right. Russia.
Yeah. So, like, I would find it very unbelievable that a foreign government was able to operate to that extent, aerial devices over sovereign American land with impunity for so long.
And not only that, remember how they busted, and they still do, they bust these little Cessnas flying in with drugs all the time.
Yeah.
So they're gonna stop the Cessna, but hey, that drone looking thing, just to act like you don't see that. Let's go get.
Yeah,
the
when's
Cessna.
the cartel going to get some of this these gravity devices?
Could it be them?
No more seized
The
practices.
Chinese, the Russians, and the Iranians, and the North Koreans are all already working with the drug cartels. So, according to Fox News, at least. No, none of what I said is true. I just made all of that up. If it turns out to be true, well, damn. We got to hit a quick break here first. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and the team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. It could be asphalt or metal roof, any sort of system you got covering that home of yours.
Definitely.
They need to come and check it out on a regular basis. You should have it inspected on a regular basis, or you're playing with fire, in the sense that if you have a problem that you let fester, like you don't notice it, it sort of festers for years and years and years, that's when an insurance company is going to be like, nope, what's the word? You were negligent.
Negligent, that's right.
So you don't have to go through that nightmare. You can prevent it. It's just calling up River Region Contracting at 356-8635. And what you'll find is, number one, their inspections are free. They'll actually climb up on the roof, inspect it all thoroughly. And if you're good, you don't owe them anything, they'll just be like, you're good.
Exactly.
But if they do find a problem, they'll write up that estimate for free. That estimate's always accurate. They show up on time. They get the job done well. They love to educate their customers. Here's exactly what we're doing to mitigate the problem. And they're insurance specialists, so they can walk you through that claims process should the insurance company try to fight you in some way or ignore you. No, they can make that claims process a swift and easy experience. So check them out today. That's River Region Contracting. They're not associated with any other roofing company in the area. It's River Region Contracting with Todd Clark. Call them at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, and Craig, those guys on the radio, sent you. After this quick break, we'll be coming back to Austin Baranko. And at the top of the next hour, I think I want to get into this Montgomery story.
Cool.
You were writing about, Craig, that we teased a little earlier. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Looking to sell, or maybe for your dream home or the perfect piece of land? I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader. Together, we're your go-to real estate team at Forest Meadows Homes and Land.
Whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest, we know the Central Alabama market inside and out.
From cozy homes to sprawling estates, we make finding the right property easy and stress-free.
With us, you're not just a client, you're a partner. We're here for all your real estate needs.
Let us show you that not all agents are the same, and let's make your real estate dreams a reality. Call us today, 334-322-0662.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation, but hold your horses. First, we need to talk to Austin Branco with Vista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing today?
Oh, having a good Friday, Joey, minus the weather outside. What about you?
Same here. Good, but I'm staying inside. That trip from the car to the radio studio is just like,
Bone-chilling.
Yeah, bone-chilling indeed. Now, I think we had new jobs numbers come out, and that is causing quite a reaction in markets today. What's the story here?
Yeah, so jobs report was released early this morning, and as I'm sure many of you are used to by now, good news is oftentimes bad news. So the jobs report came in stronger than expected, which is good, right? More people are able to be employed, fend for themselves, less handouts, all that, but not really. In the broader economy, it creates issues because of the relationship between the outgoing administration and the incoming administration, the way that they've set up the finances of the country, and the way the Fed is reacting, or we anticipate the Fed's reaction to be. Markets across the board, equity markets at least, are trading down. Dow, NASDAQ, S&P, even some of our global markets, Europe, Japan, are trading down, while bond markets and fixed income markets are trading up. The 10-year is up to 4 3/4. If it hits 5, I think we're in for a little bit more pain. But I've been trying to find a way to explain to listeners that isn't so technical why markets are down on good news. And this is about the best thing I could come up with. So follow me on this one here.
Okay.
Under the previous administration, Yellen had issued about $23 million in short-term debt, as opposed to the traditional method of raising debt, which is going to be longer term. So when I say long term, I mean 10, 15, 20, 30-year treasuries. When I say short term, I mean 4-week, 8-week, 3-month treasury bills that have to be paid back in a short term. The reason that in the last year or 18 months that Yellen opted to do short term rather than long term is she and in the current administration weren't going to be in office this next go-round, and so terming out all that debt was really not their problem, but it kept the economy humming leading into the election as kind of a last-ditch effort to see if they could maybe eke out another win in the political cycle. Yeah, that's my hunch. That's the general consensus on the street. So I'd like the listeners to think about them buying a home, but it's a home that you only have to make payments on for a short period of time, and then someone else moves into it, kind of like the White House. So rather than getting a 30-year mortgage where your monthly payment is lower, they opted for a short-term mortgage where the monthly payment is high and you don't have to pay it. The next guy coming in has to pay it. So we now have Trump that's going to be stepping into a White House where 25% of the United States debt has to be termed by the end of 25, but almost half of it has to be termed by April 1st in the first quarter.
Okay.
So what you have now is trillions of dollars that are maturing in 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and 3 months. And really the only solution left is to push those, extend them out to 10, 15, 20, 30-year treasuries. In doing that, it's going to drive longer-term yields up. And so what you're seeing now is, the majority of the money in the world, and especially in the U.S., stock market is controlled by boomers. And they have made a lot of money in the last few years, and they don't need to keep their money at so much risk. So as these long-term treasury yields rise, they're rotating money out of the stock market where there's risk and putting it into long-term treasury market where there's reasonable returns as those yields go higher. So you're seeing a massive move down across all the major equity markets for this reason. And we think, this is probably going to continue to compound through the first quarter.
Man, I really appreciate that breakdown. Fantastic stuff. And folks, if you want this sort of insight and expertise, you got to go with Invista Advisors to help guide you through your long-term financial future. And it's not just looking at, say, markets and investments. It's sort of a holistic approach about you and your estate, you and your household, or maybe you're running an institution of some sort that needs that long-term financial planning. Invista Advisors can help you out. And, of course, Austin Baranco right there on the team, as you just heard him. That number's still 387-0094. Folks want to get in touch with you?
Yep, that's us, Joey.
Again, that's 387-0094. When you call up Austin and the team, be sure to tell them that you heard Austin on the radio with that Joey Clark guy.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks for your time, Joey, and y'all have a great weekend. Stay warm.
You too. We'll be right back, folks.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President-elect Trump has been formally sentenced without penalty in his New York criminal case. The sentencing hearing took place with Trump appearing by video from Florida. His sentence of an unconditional discharge means no jail time, fines, or probation. Yet it results in Trump becoming the first president or president-elect who was a felon. Mr. Trump will appeal. Firefighters continue to battle Los Angeles area wildfires. The death toll now at 10. U.S. hiring picked up unexpectedly in December as employers added 256,000 jobs. The Labor Department reported that job growth was up last month from 212 in November. The unemployment rate dropped to 4.1%. On Wall Street, stocks remain sharply lower, the Dow dropping 484 points. This is SRN News.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money, but if you can get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that's MediShare. You get both. The typical family saves $500 a month and they love it. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Call now. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. For us, for the rest of the day, we're mainly talking about a cold rain now, with a high temperature today barely up to about 39. Tonight, the rain will continue into the evening hours before ending. Overnight low temperature down close to freezing, 32, 33 before all is said and done. Then a cold day on Saturday with a high temperature only up to about 40. Cloudy skies, then sunshine later, down to 24 on Saturday night. And Sunday's high only up to about 50 with more sun. Arctic air still hanging on. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Another suspect is under arrest in connection to a Montgomery homicide from last year. An unidentified 16-year-old boy has been charged with capital murder in the shooting death of 22-year-old Eldrin Wright at the Liberty Square apartment complex on October 23rd. The arrest comes days after 18-year-old Bekeith Jackson was also arrested on the same charges. A cybersecurity incident has likely impacted some student information at Pike Road schools. PRS officials were notified of the data breach by their education software system provider, PowerSchool. The affected data breach may include students' personal information, including names, addresses, and phone numbers. Montgomery's first homicide of 2025 saw two 18-year-old suspects arrested, which continues a disturbing trend. Of the 61 homicides in Montgomery last year, police arrested 37 suspects. 26 of those suspects were just 21 years old or younger. According to the latest CDC data, homicide rates for people aged 10 to 24 increased 60% from 2014 to 2021. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Honey? Yeah? Do you think it's safe using all these extension cords?
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Actually, too many extension cords can be dangerous. Call Crosby Electric to add new outlets.
Sure is dark in our yard.
Good. We'll sleep better.
Maybe you will.
Crosby Electric does landscaping lighting for beauty and safety, as well as security lighting for peace of mind.
Oh, darn. The vacuum cleaner just tripped a breaker.
Honey, never vacuum while I'm making popcorn. Tripping breakers can indicate a potential fire hazard. You really should have it checked out by Crosby Electric, serving the river region for almost 50 years.
Sweetheart, are you ever afraid that lightning could damage our electrical system?
Afraid? Come on. No. Maybe we should call Crosby. You know, just give him a call. Full house surge protection can protect you and your possessions. For an assessment and for all your electrical needs, call Crosby Electric 272-2085 or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Oh, we got some comments rolling in, Eddie. Sorry, I don't have your mic on.
That's all right.
Adam writes in, guys, I was trying to drive around downtown Montgomery that first couple segments. It's hard to drive when you snot all over yourself from laughing. Yeah.
Been there.
The feeling's mutual, man. I'm glad I cleared out the sinuses before I got to work. We got it. We got to go to this story here in a second with Craig Monger when Craig returns to the studio. Again, it's an amazing story. Mother claims 18-year-old Montgomery murder suspect shot daughter in 2022, suspected in other killings without being questioned by police. I'm just going to read this here.
Please.
A mother has come forward claiming the 18-year-old suspect charged with murder and attempted murder of a police officer on Tuesday in Montgomery, this is right on Zelda Road, was suspected of killing her daughter and others in recent years without being questioned by police. On Tuesday, the Montgomery Police Department charged Rodriguez Humphrey, 18 of Montgomery, with capital murder and attempted murder of a police officer. He and Trewick Smith, 18, also charged with murder, are accused of gunning down Rodriguez Harris Jr., who's 24, around noon on Tuesday at the 2600 block of Zelda Road. It's that little chevron right across from McDonald's, right next to Crystals and all that. Humphrey received an additional attempted murder charge for firing his AR pistol at a responding police officer. While teen killers are all too common in Montgomery, which is true, Humphrey was instantly recognized by a Montgomery woman who first heard his name from an investigator looking into the 2022 murder of her daughter. Patricia June has been looking for her daughter's killer since she was gunned down in front of her house in October of 2022. Erica June, a mother of 7, was shot while sitting in her car after pulling into her Montgomery residence on 4th Street. According to Patricia June, Erica's body was discovered by a number of her children, who desperately tried to stop the bleeding in her neck using napkins and paper towels in the car. Despite the children's efforts, Erica passed away. Shortly after, Patricia discovered that investigators had identified Humphrey as a suspect. He would have been 15 at the time. According to Patricia, even though police were told that Humphrey had confessed to murdering someone to a family member, he was never picked up or questioned by law enforcement. Quote, family members allegedly sent Humphrey up north after the killing, Patricia June told 1819 News. He got comfortable. He talked about it a little bit. Next thing I know, he's back here. The investigator told me that she couldn't do anything about it, that they'd look into it and all that. It went just like that for a long time. Sometime after, Patricia says investigators told her that Humphrey was a suspect in yet another murder that occurred in March 2023. Ontario Hubbard, 20, was shot and killed on Buford Street in Montgomery. DeAndre Byers, 23, was arrested along with 3 other unnamed suspects ages 15, 16, and 17, according to AL.com's reporting. Police did not release the names of the teen suspects, and court records for the minor suspects are also unavailable. However, Humphrey would have been 17 at the time. Court records state that Byers' case is still ongoing. How he's getting past the system even as a juvenile, Patricia June continued. They know he's affiliated with gangs. They know he's affiliated with people that do criminal activity, and you're still letting him out to do all this? I told the investigators, said Patricia June, that I'd rather he be locked up because now there's another family mourning the loss of a child. Patricia went on to claim that Humphrey was a suspect in at least 2 other murders, but did not remember specifics. I'm tired of them calling these people murderers, Patricia continued. This boy's he's a serial killer. This boy's a serial killer. That's what he should be labeled. Patricia believes police were trepidatious about pursuing Humphrey due to his age at the time, while also expressing extreme frustrations with the level of attention paid to Erica's murder, which she claims has already been designated a cold case. I'm not the only family that's out here disappointed in how you let murderers go free to do the same thing again. Hardcore criminals go free and come right back out and do the same thing again. If they told you once who they are and told you twice and told you 3 times, I think they're just asking you to lock them up. I'm continuing to quote Patricia June. We are frustrated. I have some parents. We meet and talk about what's going on in Montgomery and how it's all about a party. We see the things that are happening in Montgomery. It's growing in a positive way. But we also see the negative side and where these resources are going. But something is just not right when someone can go out, be a suspect in 3 or 4 murders, and you can't put him in jail. Patricia is hopeful that Humphrey's arrest on Tuesday will prevent him from killing anyone else, although she does hope for some resolution in Erica's case. However, she repeatedly bemoaned the lack of communication from investigators to her and others who similarly have friends and family whose murders remain unsolved. We've been waiting and listening for those calls, she said. Even just once a month to say, hey, we haven't forgotten. A lot of the parents in our group that meets together, that's how they feel, that their child's life really doesn't matter that much. Just the disrespect and the no consideration, no empathy. You can call me once a month or whatever just to let these family members know. These families are still mourning. I'm still mourning. I'm going to mourn my daughter's death until I die. A lot of us parents are feeling hopeless. We really are. Right now, we're creating a bunch of serial killers. And that's exactly what they are. Patricia still keeps Erica's 3 young children, while the others have all grown up. Her husband passed away in 2011 from a stroke, leaving her to tend to her grandchildren alone. She also started a community baseball program to address the issues of youth violence in her community. We may not be able to save the ones that are out here doing what they're doing now, but we can try to save the ones that are 10 or 11 or so, that can be easily influenced by the environment they live in. We can let them know there's hope beyond this community that you're in right now. I want you to dream about that and believe that you can have that. You don't have to be what you see around you. Again, if you want to read this yourself, the headline, it is the top story at 1819news.com right now. Written up by Craig Monger. The headline is Mother Claims 18-year-old Montgomery murder suspect shot daughter in 2022. Suspected in other killings without being questioned by police. It's unconscionable. It's absolutely unconscionable. And walking in right now, sitting down in his seat, we have the guy that wrote that story up. I just read your story in full.
Oh, thank you.
Every single quote from Patricia.
Yeah, it's brutal. Brutal.
Absolutely.
I mean, from the things I can't get in text, I can somewhat, you captured it brilliantly. But, I mean, what was it actually? I imagine you talked to her.
Yes, I did. It was over the phone. It's amazing how you get sort of desensitized to the horrificness of just mankind in general, but it never fails whenever you talk to someone that's touched it directly. It always brings it home a little bit. So, yeah, it was brutal. Very, very. She's a delivery driver, and so it was fascinating. We talked for a little bit about that, and you could tell she cares. She's like, my people get their packages. They get their packages, because we were talking about the winter storms. Like, they're going to get their packages. And so I was impressed with her work ethic. And then you realize that, since her daughter was killed, she's been taking care of these grandbabies, and her husband passed away. She's widowed herself and is taking care of these kids. And all she just freaking wanted throughout this entire process was, could you bring him in, ask him some questions? He told someone that he did it.
Right.
I feel like even if even if you don't have any physical evidence per se, you can still bring him in and sweat him a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I think he was 15 at the time. 15 at the time. And so I know that complicates things with...
Well, that's my next question is, like, is this on police? Is it on the judicial system? Is it like... Because it seems like the police are making arrests pretty quickly in this town.
Yeah, but that's like when they roll it right up on. Like in this case, he finally got arrested because a cop showed up on the scene and got shot at. It's pretty definitive at that point.
Yeah.
Or
is it all the above?
I don't know. That it would be really good if there was some transparency in these things, and it just never is.
Was that shortage at the police department? Is it affecting their investigative group or?
I would have to assume that it has to.
But then also, it's if, say, the one other murder case you mentioned, the documents are sealed on a bunch of 3 teenagers involved.
Yeah, exactly. And
so you can't know.
Yeah, and trust me, I have tried to find out a way to get into juvenile court records. Mm-hmm. The only way that you can do that is to know someone attached to the case, and they are not going to do that, because if they give you the documents, then they get disbarred and they go to jail. Yeah. So it really is impossible to find out the situation. So I can't even know definitively if this individual is responsible for or was a suspect or even arrested in the murder that Patricia mentioned, because those records aren't available.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it. You do want to defend the identity of minors to a certain extent, but if 3 teenagers are accused with gunning someone down in the middle of Buford Street, I feel like that I feel like capital crimes should be an exception to that rule.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's heartbreaking,
and it's heartbreaking because she mentions talking with other parents that are going through similar things, similar frustrations with not coming. I mean, imagine that your daughter was killed in 22. That's not too long ago, and it's already been deemed a cold case.
Well, and at a certain point, especially one of those last quotes that you don't have to be what you see around you. I think this is the literal last sentence you quote her.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder, like, how many Montgomerys are there? Because I think the old way when people say, oh, how many Montgomerys are there? Oh, there are 2 Montgomerys, especially on Sunday, and the divide between black and white. It's deeper than that. How many Montgomerys are there when a grandmother is trying to just start a baseball league?
Right.
So the 10-year-olds don't end up. Because that's not most people's Montgomery.
Yeah, but that's
But
painful.
it's some people's.
It's painful that she has to do that when we have a city where we see where the money gets spent. Why is a grandmother having to start a baseball league?
And when you look at, I put this guy's mugshot in the headline photo intentionally.
Good.
Because I want you to see that. Now, first of all, don't let that big smirk fool you. He is defecating in his pants right now. His life is over. His life is over. But if what Patricia says is true, and I'm saying allegedly, then this person has been killing people since he was 15 years old.
This is the photo you're talking about.
Just
If
sitting
you're
there
watching on
smirking ear
He's
to ear.
smiling ear to ear.
He shot at a woman, by the way, before this picture was taken. Now I mean, you could say, it was a cop, whatever. He shot at a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And if what Patricia said is true, he shot another woman in the throat, sitting in her car outside of her house. And this is what drives me crazy when you talk to very progressive leaders. They don't have a worldview that allows for this. And what this is an animal.
Yeah.
This is an animal. Now, you can argue nature versus nurture all freaking day long, but the fact is something happened in this young man's mind quite early to where he thought that that's okay. And it's not. And you cannot share a society with someone who thinks that that's okay. You just can't. So when people talk about so-and-so's about that life, I was like, you've never met someone who's about that life. And what that means is someone who will shoot you in the middle of a Waffle House if you step on his shoes in front of 50 people, and he doesn't care if he does all day. He like this guy, he cares, but it doesn't enter his thought process. I'm going to do something reckless and dangerous and violent where 50 people in the middle of Zelda Road, and just not even think about the consequences.
One line is interesting to me. It created more questions in my mind when Patricia June said, we are frustrated. I have some parents. We meet and talk about what's going on in Montgomery and how it's all about a party.
Yeah, I put that in there, and maybe that I should have elaborated because she later on did. I'm not a perfect writer, Joey. And what she was meaning, what she elaborated about that statement, it was about the emphasis on increasing the entertainment in the city. Like, you have a decent nightlife. Yeah, things to do. You got a water park.
Right.
All this other stuff.
Things
But meanwhile, like you're grabbing, you're bear hugging your purse on your way back to your car, and then you find out that your car's been broken into when you get there. It's like, it's kind of wacky priorities that you have there. And again, it's not a money thing, but the city's got plenty of money to address this. The fact is that you have a progressive mayor and a progressive executive staff that simply does not have what it takes in order to address these things properly, which is why every democratic city like this is an absolute failure.
Well,
because when your progressive policies have no answer and no solution for that guy.
Yeah.
Well, and we'll see, because there is, around the mayor in particular, he has a new chief of staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dream Reed?
Yes.
Yeah.
REID, I believe, which is going to make my writing super confusing.
And to put this as mildly as I can, because it's my style, I like his CV a little better than the last guy. So it has some hope there. Just leave it at that.
You could say that about like a worm bathed in wax.
Just leave it at
Sorry.
that. Don't get me started.
An oleaginous
You hang out
fruit.
with Jeff for too much.
Jeff has really been getting in trouble recently. I got to step up my game. He's going after Bronner.
Oh yeah. He went on a rant on these airwaves on Wednesday. Yeah, it's fantastic. But then also Jim Grayboy's named the full-time chief of police.
Aren't you so glad that we hired a Texas, an out-of-state firm to finally, after months, tell us, hey, you know what you should do?
Right.
You should hire your interim chief.
that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because it makes sense. He's actually worked in MPD, and then he knows Alabama State. Like, he knows the community.
Yeah, he's part of the area. Even when he was at Aaliyah, and then he was at ASU for a long time. He's just around the area. You know, it's always bizarre to me whenever you bring a chief of police who's like, how long does it take him to learn the roads? Like, I've lived here my whole life, and I still scratch my head every now and again.
Absolutely.
So it's like, well, yeah, hire a local guy, dummy.
It's absolutely, it's a shame. Great write-up, though. I mean, I can't imagine. You actually texted me the other day, and I didn't have the full context, and I kind of knew where you're going with it.
Yeah.
But the idea of, can you imagine being a child trying to stop your mother from bleeding out from the neck with napkins in the car?
Yeah.
And failing.
Grabbing gloves out. And, you know, I didn't get to put this in the story. I could have made this story 5,000 words if I wanted to. But unfortunately, it's just you can't. Erica had just gotten approval to move to Troy. She had a place in Troy because she was moving out of Montgomery. Guess why?
Get away.
Guess why?
Get away from you.
And, you know, luckily, I mean, I say luckily, but, you know, a number of her kids were already grown.
Yeah.
And so luckily Patricia didn't have to take care of all 7 of Erica's children. But it's still, as a parent, I feel like I can say that having children is a burden. Taking care of children is a burden. It's one that you do joyfully, but it you know, they eat food, and food is expensive.
Yeah.
Especially when it's my kids.
Well,
but so that burden being placed on you and feel like you are shaking your fists against the wall to try to get justice for your murdered daughter. I can't imagine. Like, I talked to her, and she even had a sense of humor. Patricia did, not about this, but she just had a general sense of humor.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't feel like I would. I don't feel like I would have a sense of humor that survived something like that. I would be too angry.
Me too.
Yeah, you don't know until that time.
Just the injustice of this, and then when you look at the death penalty, and the death penalty comes along, and people get executed in the state, and it's like this murder happened 30 years ago.
Yes, right. Well, and also these teenagers, doing this, they're in their own. This is what I mean by how many Montgomerys are there, because it's not. If you're looking at it through black-white, you're looking at it through the wrong lens.
Yeah, you're not a part of the conversation.
Yep.
Because this is a subculture in Montgomery that most folks are not a part of, but they're in their own world and they mean business. That little world they're in is their world.
Yeah, and there was info that I was given that I didn't put in the story because apparently this dude's clicked up, and these are people that live in the community.
Yeah,
and I don't want to put anyone in any sort of danger here.
Sure.
And it's crazy. There is a subculture. The cops know where these cultures exist, where their hubs are in the city. They say they're keeping a watch of them, but if you have a kid who can tell someone, I'm not going to say who, can tell someone that he committed a murder, those people inform the police. Then he skips town and he comes back. And you're just like, what, rut-row, Raggy.
Cold.
It's so sad because, again, I don't know what it's like to be an investigator investigating homicide after homicide after homicide. I don't, and they have
how many resources do you have? How much cooperation in the community do you get?
True, you have my sympathy, but at the same time, you're participating in a failed system, and everyone's too chicken to actually come out and speak out against. That's what I hate about all these press conferences. I would like to thank Mayor Steve Reed. I'd like to thank so-and-so. Yeah, it's just...
Well, and this is on top of another trending story there at 1819news.com. The former host here at News Talk, April Marie Fogel, is now writing for 1819 News. And she has a headline saying, report shows staggering lack of resources and support for Birmingham Police Department. So, and you're seeing similar problems in terms of staffing in particular. And especially officers on the streets, not just, say, civilian staffing. And, man, and Birmingham, broke their record?
Yeah, last year.
For homicides last year.
Yep.
You can't blame COVID no more.
No. Well, and it makes me think that maybe the state legislature does something. I know the conversation sort of got quieter, but I'm wondering, is there going to be a crime package?
Ingram's bill is going to pass, I think.
Oh,
Green's bill is going to pass.
When you have Wandolin Gavan pressing for this bill.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask if I'll have Wandalin on the show.
No,
All
every day.
All day.
Co-host,
She
please.
wants to guest host. Yes, come on.
She's running for mayor now. She's running
know.
for mayor in Birmingham, so that should be.
No, as soon as
she hates his guts. She hates Randall's guts, dude. She hates him.
Kind of obvious,
dude. So many. So I will say this. I'm not going to name names.
Yeah.
So many people in the Jefferson County delegation hate that guy's guts with a passion. So there's one particular. I'm not going to name his name, but the relationship is so bad that Randall won't even bring him up when he mentions the delegation.
Oh, wow.
He leaves his name out of the conversation entirely. Wow. And so he has made some enemies amongst state lawmakers. Dude, she went after him hard. And
See,
I'm just like,
I started liking her when she got in that shouting match with Dale Jackson.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, not many people can shout down Dale.
I will tell you, though, me and Wandalin have such a bizarre relationship.
I believe it.
Because it's like, do you hate me right now? Or like it goes day by day depending on the stories. And I wrote a story that, got her a lot of attention.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
She one day came in and she was like...
Quoting Jay-Z, right?
Yeah, quoting Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And she comes in, she's like, I want to make sure you get my picture right next time. Because people are talking about my hair and it needs to look good.
And it is easy, especially if you're just reading the headlines and you see a photo, and this certainly happens with national news. You forget, like, it is a person who's like, pretty much you probably have a lot in common with them. So.
Yeah, well, no, the most bizarre thing about my time in the legislature, and everyone is shocked to hear this, I butt heads with Republicans far more than Democrats in the House. I actually get along with the Democrats. Now, there's a fundamental understanding of where we lie.
Sure.
But it's all very friendly. There's some Republicans there that if I were bleeding on the sidewalk, they would sprint over to spit on my dying body. Like, they hate me.
Yeah. You hold their feet to the fire.
There's one, Paul Lee, who he does not like yours truly.
And it's not like they can big boy you. Like any sort of physical intimidation. No, that didn't happen.
No. I've only ever
that does happen, by the way, folks. If you don't know, like I've noticed.
Yeah.
And it's not, people are punching each other in the face, but it's more the like really hard handshakes and like the hard pats on the back and then getting up.
It's more the
somebody's
personal
grill.
space. It's more the personal space. It's like you have say there's a percentage and that of normal personal space, and that's 100%.
Yeah.
They'll cut in at about 80% to where it's not close enough to where you can be like, hey bro, back off, but you're also like, this is uncomfortable.
Well, and then there's one elected official in the state who's a man who I won't name, but folks be like, is he trying to big boy? No, he's just a close talker. 272-9228. It's like that Seinfeld episode. He's just a close talker.
Yeah, there's a few people, not lawmakers in the state, that you just want to carry like a pack of Trident because they're close talkers, but they don't use Listerine.
I know this before your time, but usually they had Banaka spray. I don't know if they still have that. So right as they go to talk, you could hit them with that Banaka one time.
No, there's a particular reporter that I'd like to douse in whatever that is.
Is that like the in Dumb and Dumber, where he?
Oh yes.
Yeah, where he completely messes his mouth too. Like,
that's the stuff, baby. The good stuff.
Oh, we got to hit a break here. First, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out, especially if you're feeling a whole basket of symptoms like lack of energy, motivation, and drive. You're just always tired. Perhaps unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass, just all that together. You're like, what is going on with me? Well, the providers at Montgomery Men's Health can do a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And knowing whether you have low T is huge in combating a lot of these issues. And if you do have low T, they'll know after that test at Montgomery Men's Health, and they have treatments there that can truly change men's lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido. Nice. You know what that means, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Y'all on the phone lines, hold your horses. We'll come to you after the break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. My last message was the report for 2024 real estate market in the River region. According to industry experts, they predict for 2025, we will have more inventory to choose from for our buyers, more buyers for sellers to show their houses to. Here are 5 tips for buyers or sellers in 2025. Number 1, sellers need to price their home at fair market value with the help of your realtor. Number 2, buyers need to be pre-qualified by a local lender prior to shopping for a house to save them time. Number 3, use a certified residential specialist or CRS to purchase or sell your home. Less than 2% of realtors nationwide have this designation. You need an expert now. 4, use someone with 48 years of real estate experience to help you with your largest investment. Number 5, quit waiting. Now's the time to buy or sell. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883, the Goodson Group, or 551-0225.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. For us, for the rest of the day, we're mainly talking about a cold rain now, with a high temperature today barely up to about 39. Tonight, the rain will continue into the evening hours before ending. Overnight low temperature down close to freezing, 32, 33 before all is said and done. Then a cold day on Saturday with a high temperature only up to about 40. Cloudy skies, then sunshine later, down to 24 on Saturday night. And Sunday's high only up to about 50 with more sun. Arctic air still hanging on. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader and Craig Monger here in the studio. I still haven't changed the bells. I kind of like the bells.
I don't want you to change the bells.
You like this one?
Yeah.
All right.
You remove the bells, you're dead to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep the bells then. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Simpler Days. How you doing today, Simpler Days?
Hey, pretty good. You depressed the hell out of me reading me that article from and listening to Patricia. I mean, she and others are victims of this social justice system that these blue mayors have created, and it's just sad. The worst thing you can tell a crime victim, I don't care what the crime is a law enforcement officer to say those words. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
You may think that, but you don't say it to them. And you simply say, I'm sorry, we're working on it, we're trying to develop a lead, we're trying to work it into a suspect, but you don't tell them that. And that just shows the inexperience level. And to work homicides, to work those felony cases, and especially the homicides, you've got to have informants.
Well, can I ask you a question? I mean, were you law enforcement? It sounds as such.
Yeah, 40 years and with 34 with MPD, and then 6 with the DA's office.
Okay, wonderful. So, answer me this, because I was thinking about this while I was writing the story. Obviously, is the same callousness that would lead you to sort of lead a victim's family to feel that let down, is that kind of what's needed in order for you to do the job effectively? Like, you have to sort of turn off that, for lack of a better term, that human side of you, so you can deal with the horrible things that you see day in and day out. Is that something that's required, or can you maintain both?
I mean, I work with some great investigators, and they could do both very well, but I mean, you've got to leave the baggage, and you can't take cases home with you. But I mean, there's every law enforcement officer that's worked a homicide. They've got a case that they carry with them the rest of their life. They can't turn it loose; it comes back to them.
Yeah.
But you've got to have compassion and empathy and sympathy for the victim. And if you can't do that, I mean, you don't need to be in that job. And if you can't read their faces, and you may not be able to clear that case, you may not be able to do anything other than to let them know you're concerned and you're working as hard as you can. And so you've got to have, I mean, all these databases are great, but you got to have that human side to you that can develop an informant that's going to give you information on the street. And when you got 2- and 3-year officers, and you got 2-year folks working homicide cases, you don't have the experience, you don't have the understanding of relationships, and you just don't. And I mean, it's just sad to me to see that the MPD has flipped to that point, to where people like Patricia, and they're the victims of this system that all these blue mayors have created, and this depolicing. And you got public information officer riding in a patrol car. You've got investigators that ought to be working on leads, working cases, and they're out riding patrol cars because they don't have enough bodies to go around. And there's going to be a big investigation, and it's coming. And just like back in the day when they found all the sexual assault kits that were in evidence lockers, evidence rooms all over the United States that hadn't been processed, well, there's going to be another one, and it's going to be criminal cases that have not been investigated, not pursued leads. And I know this for a fact. I had an officer tell me this. He said, LT, I promise you, they're not turning in case files. They're not turning completed case files. I said, well, what type of cases? He said, on murder cases.
Wow. Well, I mean, I was wondering, did you read or hear about the young lady who drove to Georgia and took her own life, and her car was towed by Georgia police, and they just found her decomposed body months and months and months later. And the reason that Georgia wasn't alerted when they towed the car, because it was sitting on the side of the road, the same road that her body was found at, by the way, they hadn't input her vehicle's information into the federal database, so they just towed it thinking it was an abandoned car, not knowing that this is a missing person. Is that a normal thing, or is that just complete incompetence?
Complete and total. Hell no, that's not normal.
Right.
And somebody's butt should, I mean, they should be in a bind over that. That is basic nuts and bolts police work. It's nothing complicated. You don't have to go out and develop a suspect and work it into a theory. That's basic police work, entering information into the system so another law enforcement agency can locate and identify. And see, that's what's going on all over this country. the basic nuts and bolts, the stuff that police work is founded on, is not being done because we're focusing on all this other crap. And I just feel so sorry for Patricia and folks like her. I mean, I just wish, timing is everything, because I sat with many of them and told them, said, look, we're going to help you. We're going to try to get you through this, but we're going to work your case to the best of our ability. And that's all you can do.
Well, I appreciate the call, Simple Days.
Have a good day.
Thanks,
See you, Simple Days.
Great questions, Craig. In fact, there's like a bunch of folks trying to get you your own show on our comment section.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I'll start my own independent thing, and I'll do it on Patreon. I'll make $45 a year.
There you go. No, but they were praising not only your work on the show today, but when you filled in for Alabama Unfiltered the other day with Scott.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I would have been dead without Sky. Just having another warm body. Again, my editor, Jeff Poor, I don't know how he does that every single day.
I don't know. He's very angry. He just lets the anger flow through him.
And he runs on. Dude, I don't know. I'll look and he'll like edited my story at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
I don't know how.
And then he's up for his morning radio show. It's like, what are you on?
Yeah, I know. And then he's taking care of kids too, where it's just like, oh my goodness, I don't even.
Got 2 kiddos now. They're so cute.
Let's go to William B. Hey, William B.
William B, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Just making.
I was listening to that story, man. It kind of hit close to home for me, and I just wondered. I know you say it's the police kind of falling down on the job. Well, okay, but do you think that part of it is maybe why arrest somebody when the judge is going to let them go? Do you think that plays a part in some of it too?
It's a good question.
I don't know. I think it doesn't help. It probably does hurt morale.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine it's your job to go make the arrest no matter what the judge or the courts actually decide.
Right. Yeah, but I can see what you're saying, how it would feel sort of futile at a certain point. And if you're having issues with the administration, and it seems like there's been a lot of issues with the administration of MPD over the years, that you would come to see it as just a job. You come to get your paycheck and go home.
It's paying the mortgage.
So many of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's of course, Joey, you and Eddie know what happened to me about 3 years ago. So,
yes, sir.
I won't go into that. But, the police department, of course, this was in another state. This was in Waycross, Georgia. The police department was great. But when we went to the courtroom, and it never went to trial, it was they had what they call an immunity hearing, and it was there's a law in Georgia. I don't know if it's in Alabama or not, but you can use deadly force to stop the commission of a felony. Okay, that's anybody, right? Now, if you're holding your girlfriend by the arm, begging her to sit down and talk to you, you're holding her against her will, which is a felony. So somebody can just kill you right there. Yeah. So even though all the shot trajectories and everything didn't match what they were saying, the judge decided, hey, have a nice day.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry that this stirred all that up, man. But
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering about, how much how much you think that may have something to do with the police morale. Like.
Yes, I think it
why
does.
should I worry about it?
I think it does hurt morale for sure.
Yeah. And I've actually talked to a Montgomery investigator for a completely unrelated thing. And I remember talking to this guy to help me out with something because I had to file a police report in Montgomery after a woman assaulted me. Funny story. And she filled out my information in the report with her previous contacts information. So my social was wrong, my address was wrong, my name, my height, my race. Apparently I'm 5'9" and black, according to this woman. And so I had to call this investigator, and his just marked frustration. He called me up, and the first thing he says, "Hey, dude, I don't know what this lady was thinking. She must be half an R word." He didn't say R word though, and you could just hear like the frustration in his
him
voice
having to go through
of him
this.
having to just he has to deal with things on multiple levels. And this is a guy that dealt with murders, and I just luckily I knew a guy who knew a guy, so I talked to this guy to help me out with my situation.
Yeah.
Because when I called MPD, they were less than useless. They said, "Hey, go back to the same spot, call police again, and tell them to send you this person." And I said, "Make it around the same time." I'm like, "I'm not going to Montgomery at 10 o'clock at night and calling the police. No. But anywho, all that to say, I heard the audible frustration that he had with his environment, and there's no way that can't play into things year after year after year.
Well, I appreciate the call, William B. I got to hit a break here, man. Appreciate it.
See you, brother.
Beaten by a woman.
Yeah, I was installing cable, and I entered her home, and she was incredibly mentally ill, and she tried to block me from exiting the home after she was talking to an Alexa that wasn't there.
Oh my God!
And she told Alexa to turn on cameras that weren't there, and then she wanted me to fix her HDMI cable without changing the HDMI input, and I was just like, "All right, I'm out." And then she blocked the door, and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm leaving."
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell the true story first. And so had to wait for 20 minutes. Cops showed up, and it was very clear once they got there who the insane person was. I'll put it that way.
But it's probably pretty important that you stay there.
I didn't want to, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I was in an apartment complex in an area of town that wasn't super great, and I had this large black woman telling people that I hit her with a frying pan, and it was dicey. It was at that point that I realized that I no longer wanted to install cable in Montgomery, Alabama.
Very relatable. As a landlord, that's very relatable.
Yeah.
This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, and they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. They can help you out, not with dealing with crazy people, but with if you're looking to buy a home or if you're looking to refinance that home here in the new year. The refinance options are fantastic, especially for veterans.
Yeah.
There are a lot of veterans, guys, if you're hearing my voice right now, you may think you know what benefits you earn through your service, but there might be more benefits than you know. And Alabama Home Mortgage is on top of it. They have veterans in their blood. And the refinance, on average, I think it's like 15, 16 days. It's 2 weeks, essentially, to turn around a refinance deal. And so just call them up, 567-4223. It starts with a conversation. It could be to get debt off your back, could be cash out to do whatever you want with that cash.
Your money.
You reinvest in your property or reinvest in your family. It could be that big family vacation, that last hurrah everybody wanted to go on. They can help you out there at Alabama Home Mortgage. And again, with buying a home, it all starts with pre-approval, and Kim and Madeline can help you with that as well. Again, that number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
The Tears family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
With winter storm weather on the way, our friends at Alabama Power are prepped and ready for the added challenges that ice, falling trees, and extreme temperatures can bring. And you can also take steps to prepare. For winter storm safety tips and how to manage cost and energy usage while staying warm, visit alabamapower.com/winter weather or alabamapower.com/winter. Alabama Power's top priority is to keep the lights on and the heat running no matter what Mother Nature sends our way. Everybody stay safe and warm out there.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Oh, we're doing all right, despite the cold weather. What's the score there today at Cohen's?
31-3. I had a lady that came in last week, or the week before, and she bought a soundbar Sonos system from us, and we got it installed, and she just loved it. And about 4 days later, I guess she decided she needed a new washing machine. And she goes to Best Buy, wanders around for about 30 minutes. Nobody approaches her, nobody helps her. And before it's over, she gets frustrated. And then she comes back here, and of course she sees one of my guys in appliances. Mark gets her taken care of. We get it delivered the next day. Everybody's happy, and we're just kind of scratching our head that, you know, you had a great experience with this, but you didn't really think about us for the next purchase for whatever reason. But then after you got a bad experience, then you were nice enough to give us that opportunity. And, you know, we just want a chance at all of the sales. And if it's something that we don't carry, I mean, we're happy to let you know that. But otherwise, we're going to be price competitive, and we're going to have better service. And then if you need to fuss about something, I'm here or my brother's here, and, you know, we're pretty easily accessible. I mean, you get me, or Eddie gets me 2 or 3 times a week. So, I mean, we're here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, and it really is the difference. I mean, you can buy products all over the place, but you're wasting your time in the sense that, especially those big ticket items, as you know, Michael, like kitchen, laundry room, big TVs, electronics. You want that extra service, that actual human element of family-owned business that's been around for generations and generations of customers with Cohen's. And so stick with them with all your purchases, folks. Save yourself the headache. You can always shop from home at thinkcohens.com. Or if you already know what you want, 277-8890. Just call them up if you got a question, too, maybe about something you bought from Cohen's. And then, of course, I encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael or his brother, one of the team members, be like, hey, I heard Michael on the radio with Joey, and Eddie was there that day.
That's right, because we never know what day that could be.
Yeah, we never know. Like yesterday, I get it, man. You got to, inside his head, it's
always be closing.
It's always there.
Yeah, but so early in the year, I had a plan to work around this with Michael, and I got busted like on day number 3.
Yeah, actually, he gives me notification. This is just too much fun.
Yes. So anyway, y'all come see us. We're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. But, you know, the biggest thing is we want to help you make the right choice for whatever your needs are, whether it's a new washing machine, a new television, or anything in between.
Well, I appreciate it as always, Michael. Have a good weekend, man.
Y'all have a good weekend. Stay warm.
Thank you, Michael. See you, brother.
Yeah, try to stay warm. Stay inside.
Yeah.
That's how you stay warm.
My poor little girl, she was so shivery this morning.
Oh, no. Extra blanket.
I know. I unzipped my hoodie and I wrapped her up like a kangaroo.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we got to hit this top of the hour break, especially after that wholesome note. That doesn't happen that often on this show. We'll be right back, folks, after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Stocks are in free fall on worries that good news on the job market may prove to be bad for Wall Street. The strong data could keep upward pressure on inflation and prevent the Federal Reserve from delivering cuts to interest rates. President-elect Trump doesn't have to go to jail, pay a fine, or perform community service as a result of his New York criminal conviction. A judge has ended the case with a sentence of an unconditional discharge, closing the case with no punishment. Those strong wind gusts in California that are fanning the deadly flames are expected to diminish, but the break could be short-lived. One meteorologist says the winds will pick up again Sunday through most of next week. The Dow dropping 615 points down, the NASDAQ Composite 269 in the red. This is SRN News.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro's safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but you need to vacate this home.
Why, officer? I own this home free and clear. I lived here for 40 years.
Well, unfortunately, this paperwork says otherwise.
But I have nowhere else to go.
I'm sorry to hear that, ma'am.
This story is becoming all too common in the U.S. Scammers are preying on people with high equity or who own their homes free and clear of a mortgage. Only one company completely protects you. That's Equity Protect. Get your free risk report by texting the word HOME to 94878. Again, text the word HOME to 94878 to get your free risk report from Equity Protect.
Rich Thomas weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. For us, for the rest of the day, we're mainly talking about a cold rain now, with a high temperature today barely up to about 39. Tonight, the rain will continue into the evening hours before ending. Overnight low temperature down close to freezing, 32, 33 before all is said and done. Then a cold day on Saturday with a high temperature only up to about 40. Cloudy skies, then sunshine later, down to 24 on Saturday night. And Sunday's high only up to about 50 with more sun. Arctic air still hanging on. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
Central Alabama is now dealing with more snow than predicted, with about 2 to 3 inches accumulated after the storms came in Thursday night. Those living in northern Alabama are dealing not just with snow, but also icy conditions following the winter storm. Alabama Power is currently working to restore electricity to about 5,000 homes in the state that lost power due to the storm. Many of the roadways in North Alabama are considered unsafe for travel due to the ice that has accumulated. The Madison County Sheriff's Office has issued a travel advisory for drivers in that county. The snow flurries are expected to continue into Saturday, with warmer temperatures on Sunday melting the ice that has formed in the Tennessee Valley. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you. To have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A submerged vehicle was pulled from the Brooks Park and Marina in Mobile this past Thursday, and a woman's body was found inside that vehicle. Investigators believe the body is that of Helen Ward, who went missing in 2021. It's not clear exactly what prompted police to go to this particular part of the water at Brooks Landing and pull a vehicle from the waters. An arrest was made in Dothan in regards to a man who was struck and killed by a vehicle while he was walking alongside Honeysuckle Road this past Tuesday night. 57-year-old George Rice has been arrested for leaving the scene with his SUV. Marcus Gaddis is the one who was struck and killed after he was apparently alongside the road trying to pick up something that had fallen from his car. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the number one reach of radio.
Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the river region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@BlueWaterBroadcasting.com.
Adams Drugs has been committed to the healthcare of the people of the river region for over 62 years. We value the trust each customer has in our pharmacists, techs, and entire staff. If you have not experienced the difference of Adams Drugs and are not satisfied with the customer service that you get in the big box stores, we invite you to visit any of our locations and see how committed we are to your satisfaction. Adams Drugs offers a variety of services that you will not find in all pharmacies in the river region. Personalized compounding, area-wide delivery, wellness screenings, immunizations, medication consultations, and specialized packaging, just to name a few. Visit us at our website, adamsdrugs.net, and find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs has 12 convenient locations to serve you. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Adams Drugs is your local Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour of the program here on a Friday.
You know what the song needs? Needs some bells, man.
Needs some
Glad
bells.
you said it. It does, man. It could really use some bells.
Well, you go get a marimba. We'll just do it like right here.
How about a tambourine?
You can do.
I think I can score a tambourine. Yeah.
I will rock the crap out of an egg right here, right now.
By the way, Joey from Prattville will get to you in just a second. Did you see the parody Enron thing? With the consumer,
so many people, Joey.
It's this consumer electronics things going on in Vegas, and really cool stuff. Some coming out.
Some too cool to be real, though.
But then this one, it's like it's Enron presents the egg,
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
and it's like an at-home miniaturized nuclear reactor, and it's so well done. You're
10
first,
years
you're
in
like,
your home. Oh yeah, the commercial is amazing.
does this make sense? And then when he brings out the technical guy, like the chief technology officer, I'm like, this ain't real. Just the way I'm like, what is?
I'm too stupid to know that it's not real because it got me for like 5 seconds.
It got me. I had to go. Let me go look a little further.
Especially when you first see Enron.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm thinking, they're making a big comeback.
Yeah, they rebranded it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like a little nuclear reactor. I'm like,
it's perfectly safe.
The problem is, if such a person who was inventing such a thing would have been suicided a long time ago.
Oh yes.
It's like the guy who invented a car that could run on water, and
What guy?
Yeah, exactly. He passed away in a diner after standing up and screaming, "I've been poisoned," and fell to the ground.
That guy was crazy.
Yeah, that guy was nuts, man.
Kick his ass, Seabass. Let's go to line one, talk to Joey from Prattville. Hey, Joey, this is Joey.
Hey, Joey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you?
If I was any better, I'd be a twin.
All right. What's on your mind?
How them other gentlemen doing?
Gentlemen?
Hanging in here like a hair in a biscuit.
I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking.
Am I the only person? Now, you had the whole Trump sentencing thing with what's that technical term they use? Undisclosed. What's the
Premature. No.
Unconditional discharge.
Unconditional discharge.
Yeah.
Am I the only person who sees this unconditional discharge as the yang to Biden's yin? You know, you have yin and yang. You have opposites attract. So Biden is completely guilty of everything he was charged of, but we can't charge him. Trump was never guilty of what he was charged of, but we're going to charge him but not sentence him. It's like a yin and yang balance. It's almost like an automatic out for everybody who bashed Trump, all the Dems, for the past 4 years. So now they can sit back and go, yeah, he may have been guilty, but we were so good and justified we didn't send him to jail because we understand that the majority of the public didn't want him.
Yeah, no, the judge, Rashawn, essentially said that exact thing. The American people chose you to have these powers again, and I'm not going to stand in their way.
So it was like a yin and a yang wash, but it gives the Dems an out on their talking point. It's like, oh, yeah, we said he was guilty, but we never said he had to go to jail.
Right, and he's a felon. He's a convicted felon. But, you know, you keep bringing up this yin-yang thing. I have expect Trump to be like, it's the Tao of Trump. My new book coming out.
Come here, little mama. Let me whisper in your ear.
Well, second thing I want to bring up real quick, if you ever want to see an elderly, retired military black liberal lady get mad,
It's very specific.
walk in her house, push the reset button on a garbage disposal, and tell her she owes you $185 because of her. She filed it under insurance, so you got to pay a deductible.
Yep.
Wow.
You would have got me. I didn't know garbage disposals had a reset button. You could have totally taken advantage of me in more ways than one.
When that lady got mad at me, I said, ma'am, you're not paying me for what I did. You're paying me for what I know.
That's right.
That did not make the situation any better.
It generally does not.
Okay?
Generally does not.
But if you want to see one get bad, do that. And I know she was liberal because back then, this is years ago, there were Obama signs in her front yard. But, yeah.
Man, you were trumping on before it was cool.
Hey, I'm sorry. But now, a third thing, I would like each of your opinions because within 24 hours, according to the Trumpster, we're going to find out about the drone. In your opinion, are they ours or were they foreign?
If I had to take a guess, I'm going to say ours.
Yeah, 100% ours.
Same here.
I think I agree. I think they were ours. I think they come from that military base. But, you know, so then you flow into the why the hush hush.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. If he's made that promise, let's get it done.
Yeah.
I want to know.
He said within day one.
Day one, that's right. On the 21st.
Y'all gentlemen have a great day. Hey, I want to touch on something real quick. Hold on. This is totally not your show.
That got me in trouble.
This is Scott Beeson and Scott Mosley. But they were talking earlier, and you may have heard, and I'm kind of expecting they would be listening right now. They were talking earlier about the Michigan stealing signs and this, that, and the other, and all the college football stuff. I'm going to tell you something that, and I don't know how, like, Alabama didn't lose every game this year. Jalen Milroe, if you actually go back and watch footage, Jalen Milroe has a tail on pass and run. Every time it's a pass play, if you go back and watch, his left foot is about a foot behind his right foot when he's standing, waiting on the snap. If it's a run play, whether he runs or hands it off, his feet are even.
Interesting.
They're not.
He needs to fix that if he ever wants to get play in the NFL.
Yeah, so I know if I noticed that Michigan noticed it. But that's just to go back to a topic they were talking about, and if I was one, But yeah, he has a tail.
Well, I appreciate you letting us know, and I appreciate you calling us up today, Joey.
Hey, have a good one, fellas.
You too, Joey.
272.
Somebody would have told Auburn that.
Oh, yeah?
You had to wait till the end of the year to tell everybody that?
All right.
Hey, were you going to watch our bowl game?
Our bowl game?
I thought we were waiting for our bowl game.
Why you got to bring stuff up like that? That's just sad. It is sad. What you just said is sad.
I remember we used to mock people that go to the Cotton Bowl. Now we celebrate them.
Okay, I want to do something that's more like, let's have some fun, like a palate cleanser. We'll get back into news and stuff. This is a guy named Rick Moranis. You know who that is?
Oh yeah,
it's off SCTV,
Canadian
so it's
guys.
old school.
Yeah,
Worst Mel Brooks movie ever.
And White Spaceballs, really?
Yeah, not a fan.
Anyway, I don't even get into that fight. You went over my helmet?
Well, we get it. You get it.
What about the
you
McKenzie
broke the
brothers?
fourth wall. We get it. Okay.
Fans of the McKenzie brothers?
Huh?
You already fans of the McKenzie brothers?
Who's that again? I'm honestly spacing.
Rick Moranis, and they were the two Canadian guys that were drunks, and they had a show back in the 80s. They did a movie.
I think you're dating yourself, Eddie.
Well,
Craig's not even 30 yet.
I should buy myself dinner. The Great White North, I think. That was like literally, they were a comedy thing. Literally the name of the movie. Good movie.
No, I've
About
never
some
seen it.
Beer that was poisoned, and it was
I know what you're talking about.
contaminated beer, and it was making people crazy. So they were able to rescue the beer and drink it all
And
themselves.
didn't Rush actually do kind of a theme song for him? Take off to the Great White North. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm responding to my mom. She bought me this hoodie or this beanie for
Yeah,
Christmas,
it's a
and
nice
she's like,
beanie.
"Who got you the nice beanie?"
It's a nice beanie.
Hi,
It's
Mom.
just
Love you.
keeping Your head more. It's almost like you're wearing a helmet.
Like.
Anyway, this is Rick Moranis singing a song in the style of a lounge singer.
Okay.
And I want y'all to name the song before he gets to the chorus. Let's listen in together.
Got your picture. I've got your picture. I'd like 1,000,000 of you all around my cell. I want the doctor to take a picture so I can look at you from inside as well.
Any guesses?
Is it a real song?
Yes. Let's say it was a one-hit wonder in the 80s.
I don't know.
Okay.
It sounds a little bit on the perverse side.
Yeah, sounds.
it is.
I'm going with the sonogram.
The speculum.
Let's just keep going. You'll get it.
You get me turning up and turning down. I'm turning in and turning round. Turning Japanese. Turning Japanese. I really think so.
I used to rock that song. It was.
Turning Japanese. Turning Japanese. I really think so. Turning Japanese. Turning Japanese. I really
God
think
bless
so.
Canadian comedy.
Turning Japanese, turning Japanese, completely Jap.
I like the 12 Years of Christmas better.
I don't know how that came up on my X feed, but it made my morning.
Why is he saying Japanese like I don't know. It just sounds racist the way he's saying it. Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, when that song first came out, that was
Who did that song? I have no
Wayne
idea.
Chung, I believe it was Wayne Chung.
Was it Wayne Chung?
I'm turning Japanese. I really think so. Yeah, it was 82.
I thought that was Everybody Wayne Chung tonight.
That was another Wayne Chung song.
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
That was Elvis Presley.
But
whose
was
birthday was
everybody really kung fu fighting?
Fake news. Not everybody was kung fu fighting. I was a Taekwondo practitioner. Very good. The best in the whole world, some would say.
And to keep the laughs going, I swear, John Fetterman has if he keeps doing stuff like this, he might be a big deal.
Yeah, I do. I do kind of hate though the sort of Scalia Ginsburg thing that they're trying to do with him and Katie Britt.
Oh, you don't like the besties for the resties, Fetterman and Britt?
I feel like that could exist. I just don't feel like those are the two. I feel like Fetterman might be one. I don't feel
like that Fox News segment they did with Brett Baird came across as like,
yeah, it was not bad. But
besties.
I want to see like a Kennedy Fetterman friendship. Like that would be like John Kennedy. Like
okay, yeah,
not RFK.
Yeah, I just see Fetterman more being like, man, that was fierce, Katie. Just so.
Yas, Slay Queen.
No, but I think they really are friends. Like you can kind of tell. Anyway, Fetterman, as he's leaving his office, is asked about the fact that he's going to Mar-a-Lago to visit with Trump. And, of course, the walking and talking reporters are a little obnoxious about it. But Fetterman this is masterful.
Hey, Senator. Can we ask you what you hope to get out of your visit to Mar-a-Lago to talk to Donald Trump?
What are we talking about here? Is there some news?
There's some news. We hear that you're going to be heading down to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
It's not even the best.
News to me.
It's not even the best part.
Well, yeah. I demand that I need to be made Pope of Greenland.
Do you have the resume to be Pope?
You guys.
The president is going to be. So, I am not the senator for just Democrats in Pennsylvania. I'm everyone's senator in Pennsylvania. And so it's just having a conversation with
And he just walks away. It's
I swear, him and Chunk, they've got some DNA that they share. Chunk from Goonies.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Actually, who I thought, what was Brendan Fraser in Bedazzled? That was the name of it.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
When he got transformed into the basketball player in that movie.
I remember that movie. Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. With the the goatee. Diablos, #1. I think that is an underrated
man, and that is a terrible shot of Fetterman. That angle right there, that's not good.
It's very
He's got the thing a lot of big bald guys have, that like the extra growth in the back.
Oh, he's got a hot dog neck. If that hoodie wasn't there, you'd see an 8-pack of hot dogs back there.
That's where I think he rocks the hoodie.
Yeah.
But again, I think this guy and Senator Britt being besties with the resties, it's perfect. Because look at him. He's wearing a hoodie all the time.
I like the idea of them being besties because Senator Britt is a smaller woman.
Mm-hmm.
And with big guy like them around, nicer things will happen to her.
Honestly,
we'll see like that big Hercules is standing next to him.
Well, honestly, considering that she's married to Wesley, it's a distinct possibility that she's the only person that's not terrified of him.
That's a very good point. Very good point, Greg.
Yeah. Because really, when you look at those reporters next to him, it looks like he's going to eat them, like physically eat them.
They kind of look worried about that as well.
Yeah. It's just like, why are you putting ketchup on my head? Mind your business. John asks questions. Fetterman make decisions.
Why am I thinking of like Beauty and the Beast?
Fetterman hungry. He really should just start referring to himself. Fetterman mad.
But that's great. He's like, oh, is it news? All right. Yeah, I want to be made the Pope of Greenland. Just being dismissive and making fun of the press while also saying I represent everybody in Pennsylvania. I'm like, that guy, I think he's got a bright future.
He's a United States senator, and he's meeting with the president. Stop the presses, ladies and germs.
What are you going to say?
What are you going to talk about? You're going to talk about like, do they actually let you grab him by the? I mean, like, let's be honest. Like, is it true? Because I'm kind of getting important now.
272-9228. And then, oof, this is a gaffe. Oof. From Biden, sitting with Harris, and he's like talking about the wildfires, if they are in fact actually wildfires. You got to wonder if people started a lot of these.
Well, the wind don't start fires, and there ain't been no rain in a while.
He's like, Kamala, don't you? That reminds me of my favorite song from the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like fire.
Anyway, wait, do you listen to a metal version of that while you're working out?
No, just their normal version. The normal version is metal in and of itself.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Anyway, here's Biden trying to give a press conference on this, like at the White House. I believe they're in the cabinet room, and he wants to, of course, kick it over to Kamala Harris because she's from California.
Right.
She's been here. So let's listen into this moment.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
All right, as the president throws it to the...
Right. So if there's no pun intended, you
Okay,
don't
let's
pun.
just hear it again so folks who didn't catch it the first time.
Madam Vice President, I know you're directly affected, so you fire away. No pun intended.
All right, as...
Thank you, Anderson, for jumping in to save the world there.
Wow.
It's almost like he heard it coming and just decided to hop in there.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. What, somebody
gives everyone brings Eddie gifts, and I don't understand it.
Because he's actually likable.
I'm a very nice guy.
Yeah, I know you're a nice guy, but it's like I figured just even random distribution. You think I would have gotten something?
I think a lot of it has to do with. I think I've lost a lot of weight.
Mhm.
People think like
you're.
I'm starving because most of it's food.
Gonna give you that Mel Gibson cocktail of ivermectin and whatever. Like just in case.
Yeah, we're talking about that. That's a clip that I actually caught where he said he had 4 friends in stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
That don't have cancer anymore.
Yeah.
And I mean,
It's nuts.
That's the
I have no
clip.
idea.
That's the only thing I.
Yeah, I don't know, because he also said a lot of crazy stuff. He said he had this one shaman who was able to like just and pick him up off the floor by 8 inches. And he's like, oh, this is crazy. So I went to a priest. I'm like, is this demonic? And he's like, well, did he take something or did he help you? He helped me. Well, it must be fine.
Strange.
Yeah, because demons wouldn't help you for a time.
But I do love those people that swear their shaman can do that stuff, and then their shaman goes and fights a real fighter and gets the crap beat out of him in like 2 seconds.
Oh, that's so funny. It's like no punch knockout guys. They just get
I love it.
blasted.
Yeah. Where did he study? Well, he watched a lot of Kung Pao Enter the Fist. And...
Apparently that was it.
Oh, you fell from my chin to your knee technique.
Dude, I used to watch those, like growing up in China, those like when Jackie Chan was like a TV star.
Yeah.
I grew up watching all those shows and he was, man, they were so great. Those old school Jackie Chan movies. A lot of good Kung Fu in there.
Oh, I bet.
Now, here's the clip you're talking about, Eddie, with Mel Gibson. He was on with Rogan recently. As he was filming this with Rogan, his mansion was burning down, but let's listen in.
Okay. I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took some, what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin?
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole, yeah.
That's
I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
There's studies on that now where people have proven that
People
they've
drinking methylene blue.
Methylene blue.
Yeah, methylene blue, which
Good
was
stuff.
a fabric dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a textile dye. And now they find out it has profound effects on your mitochondria.
Yep.
Yeah.
This stuff works, man.
There's a lot of stuff that does work, which is very strange because, again, it's profit. When you hear about things that are demonized and that turn out to be effective, you always wonder, well, what is going on here?
It's curious.
I don't know.
Again, I have no way of knowing, but it really does seem like we're in the leech stage of cancer treatment, and we've been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, okay, you have this mass. What we're going to do is we're going to kill you and hope that you survive longer than your cancer. That seems like a slightly antiquated way of dealing with the
Especially
problem.
this far along.
This
it
far
reminds
along.
me of like the bleeding of the 1800s where we're going to bleed you.
Bloodletting, just get the foulness from the blood.
Here, young man, take another enema. You have
right.
a mold. All right.
Yeah, here. Oh, wait, you have an STD, Mr. Lincoln? Here's some mercury. That'll do wonders. That's why, by the way, Abraham Lincoln had an STD, most likely contracted from a prostitute, and he treated it with mercury, which probably explains his massive depression and mental state generally.
That and his wife.
Yeah, his wife was a good time. Apparently, rumor.
You like that one, Eddie?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I had to say something that you find hysterically funny, but you refuse to actually laugh. You just hold it in.
That's a good one.
Don't you love it when you're the one guy in the room that's not in on the joke? I just love this feeling in my tummy right now.
272-9228.
They're going to explain it after the break, trust me.
I'm like a 10-year-old when it comes to stuff like that.
No, it's just like, and his wife made him miserable, and Eddie's just like,
I know a lot of guys who are married to those women.
Yeah?
Not me.
Like
not a Mary Lincoln?
Those type of women.
Yeah, good luck installing cable in their house.
PTSD, thank you.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Ken.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Ken.
You know, I've watched a couple of these press conferences from Biden and Governor Newsom and I don't even know the mayor's name in L.A., whoever she is.
Karen Bass,
yeah. There's been a lot of talk about the water diversion for the smelt fish, but nobody's asked, how are the smelt fish doing with all this fire? I'm really concerned that the smelt fish may be affected by this fire.
Roasted smelt is actually quite delicious, so I hope they're not doing too well.
You know, where's the concern for these fish right now?
That's a good question. We got to hear
That's the answer
priorities.
that we all
straight.
need.
Yeah, priorities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to know, if you guys had heard anything.
I appreciate it, Ken. I've not heard about the smelt.
You ever had smelt?
I don't know. Maybe.
Not that great of a fish.
I disagree. I
Really
like
like
it. They're very tiny, and
Yeah.
if you
Got them by the thousands.
yeah,
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I actually think they're smaller than sardines.
I think you're right.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to not too much so, but they're
Yeah.
a very small fish, and you can get them braised, deep fried. Really
Deep fried,
good,
you eat the whole thing?
Yeah, whole thing.
Yeah.
Even when it's braised, you eat the whole thing. The bones just it's kind of like have you
So
ever had like
fine, it's nothing
have you
in
ever
there.
had like a canned sardines before?
Sure,
Right.
yeah.
Whereas like the bones are in there, but you can just
Yeah.
bite right through them.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hi, Joey. It's Pete.
Hey, Pete.
Hey, that song that you're talking about, that was done by the Vapors.
The Vapors, that's who it was.
I've got the Vapors.
Yep.
The Vapors.
And the album was Nuclear Days.
Vapors used to be a name for a band in the 80s. Now it's a name for every high school student.
Yeah. So, all right, Joey, you have a good weekend.
You too, Pete.
It's a
Great to
joke.
hear from you.
That was a joke grenade.
2729228. That's 2729228. Line 4, you're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hey, Papa B.
Hey,
How you
Papa
doing?
B.
Hey, guys. I knew y'all this Friday, so I knew you'd eventually, somewhere along the line, swerve into UFO or drone or whatever
Mm-hmm.
type of talk. But I've read an interesting article here not just the other day, which y'all probably already know about, and maybe even have talked about, and it's about this study the CIA did. It's kind of metaphysical type stuff. Lieutenant Colonel McDonald, I think is his name,
Mm-hmm.
wrote a paper called Analysis of Gateway Experience. Have y'all heard anything like that about that?
Oh, I've not gone down that rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, he lended a lot of credibility to it, but there's actually studies out there, or books, or whatever written on it. And
The Men Who Stare at Goats is a good one.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, and that's part of what I want to talk to Luis Elizondo about when he comes back on later this month.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope he will. But they've done, military studies on the topic, obviously. But from my, admitted first reading of it, it's about altering reality or discovering your reality or that kind of thing, and it sounds like something straight out of the Matrix. In fact, I would not be surprised if the Matrix movies were not in part or in whole based on these kinds of documents.
Maybe,
you were talking about-
or Plato.
Yeah, well, okay. How matter is there's no real reality. For instance, I was thinking the wisest saying that I've ever heard, or one of the wisest things I've ever heard, is that there is a God, and I'm not him. So I'm tethered to that. And when I'm talking, when I'm reading all of this stuff about creating realities or exploring other realities, I just don't know what to think about it too much.
Yeah, just enjoy the ride is my advice. That's what I'm doing on a lot of stuff I don't know.
Well, you talked about projection, and I've mentioned this before. Who knows what UFOs are? I don't know. But there was some talk about some people learning how to be able to do a projection, different things like that, and who knows if it's real or not. But anyway, I tell you, there are some things to it, though. After all, one thing it brings up, as a Christian, when you pray, you're trying to, you're praying for someone, let's say they're sick. Well, in a fashion, you're trying to alter their reality. If you want to look at it, from that point of view. And it's true.
Yeah.
So, there are aspects of such things that are based in not just science or, our concept of the world, but actually, things that we've practiced for years. So, I don't know. There are some things to that. guys. What are their names again?
Lou Elizondo and Troy Carrico will be back on.
Right.
that
I
day as well.
really enjoyed that.
Likewise.
Time that they spent
Likewise.
with y'all. All right, guys. Well, listen. Y'all have a great weekend.
Appreciate
and,
it.
Talk to you later.
See you later, puppy.
272-9228. Yeah, no, there's a deep mystery at the bottom of what exactly is consciousness. And if you, like, you don't see the entire world, obviously. I mean, there's simple examples like you don't see the whole light spectrum.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, there's your body's attuned to a particular task, I think, of keeping you alive. But is there more to this world, especially if you change your mental state? If that's even, like, we think it's in the brain, but what if you change the heart? Like, you can be in a very different place. Like, you're sitting in the same, like, say I'm in the studio and somebody calls me up and gives me the greatest, my brother's having another kid. I'm in a different place now. Or it's so-and-so died. I'm in a very different place. Like, these changes aren't, the idea that everything's bottom up from the material, I think, is just absurd.
Yeah, it's patently
I've thought
absurd.
that for a long time. It's absurd. I'm more happy to live in the question of what are the mysteries at the bottom of all this. And we'll find out, hopefully.
Did you listen to the Rogan episode with Homeboy, the Christian apologist
I
fellow?
did not the whole thing, but portions of it. Actually, I wasn't that impressed because I had heard better explanations of the historical case.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, the thing is, I was more fascinated because when I first became a Christian, it was the textual criticism that I first dove into.
Okay.
And so hearing about all the ancient texts, the Vaticanus, Monfortianus, Sinaiticus, like all those different texts, P52. It was nice because I hadn't really dove into it in a while, and to see it be talked about.
Well,
so
and I don't
it was
necessarily blame the guy. I'm forgetting his name.
great. Yeah, me too. Wes Huff, was that his name?
Might be that.
Let me check.
But it's not so much him. Rogan kept kind of interrupting him in a way that I've heard better just put in a clip. Here's the explanation for the historical Jesus, and then, like, especially also the idea of all the disciples after the fact, or the apostles after the fact. A lot of them die awful deaths because they refuse to denounce what they believe.
Yeah, for the most part, that's what people agree on.
Yeah, and so you're not going to die for a lie in that way.
Not one that you know is a lie, and they would have to know it's a lie because they would have to be the ones making it up.
Well, and that if it is all untrue, that is the easiest explanation. People are lying, and like they're not. It seems pretty evident they're not. And by the way, that's part of the Mel Gibson conversation that really fascinated me. He's doing a Passion sequel, and it's about the resurrection, but it sounded like he wanted to not make it like a literal, we find the tomb, the stone rolled, and there's I think it's going to be more across space and time almost.
Yeah, I think he's going to Tarantino it with it by not just crossing back and forth between timelines, but I think he's actually going to cross between dimensions. And I think that is fundamentally going to be horrible because you start entering the realm of speculation, and to the point, it's like, really, truly, how do you put unembodied spirits essentially on the screen in a heavenly or a celestial dimension? Because, and the big problem there is when you start talking about what's happening behind the scenes, say in the 3 days after the resurrection. If you listen to the creeds, they said he descended into hell, and on the third day he rose again in accordance with the scriptures. Now, there's a specific theological thing that happens there with the word hell. You have to realize hell is a Germanic word, comes from obviously Norse mythology. The Greek words are Hades and Gehenna. Hades was the realm of the dead, Hades, and then Gehenna was the final resting place of the damned. Hell technically is uninhabited at the moment. There is a two-compartmented nature of Hades, then you see that with Lazarus, the poor man. You see on one side is Abraham's bosom, and the other side is Lazarus is in Abraham's bosom, and the rich man is burning in torment. So if you interpret that one way, a lot of people have come to the theological conclusion that the spirit of Jesus was actually sent to hell to suffer for 3 days. Now, I don't believe that is actually Catholic doctrine, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does. But anyway, you're just opening yourself up to a lot of
and we'll see
problems.
what he does. He was very vague about it, I think, on purpose. So Well, but yeah, there is a sequel, and apparently they've been working on the script for 6-7 years, and it should be interesting to see if Mel can actually pull it off. He's almost 70 years old. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and he's been smoking cigarettes his entire life, and he looks great for 70.
He really does. Well, we got to hit another break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. And then on a cold day like this, some warm barbecue is the way to go.
Or some Brunswick stew, Joey.
Are you going to get the ribs? And have you done that yet?
Craig, what do you think of this idea?
Okay, I'm listening.
I want to get a rack of ribs, and I want to get a big thing of Brunswick stew. And when I break off a rib, I'm going to use the rib like a chip to dip into the Brunswick stew and bring it to my mouth.
Question.
Okay.
Does the rib have a wet sauce on it or just a dry rub?
It's probably going to have a little wet sauce. Now you bring that up, that could be a little bit it could be, or it could be an additional great flavor. I don't know. I'm willing to take the risk.
Possibly. I think it's worth trying and seeing how it goes, but then just make sure you have like a lot of like good brown bread just in case it doesn't work out.
Oh, yeah.
I like their spicy barbecue sauce there at Smokehouse.
It's
great. Very good. Folks, they've got all sorts of barbecue options, hand-pulled meats, 5 brick pits running, best barbecue in the river region. And not only do they do great barbecue and all the side items, too.
Some mac cheese.
Fried okra.
Ooh, I'd love some
fried okra. They also do an amazing breakfast, a true Southern breakfast. And you can get custom-made biscuits, breakfast sandwiches, breakfast bowls. Of course, you can like bacon and eggs, or you can get the Fat Boy breakfast where you try a sample of everything that'll offer. But in particular, you must get the cheese grits.
Oh, no doubt, Joey. No doubt.
They're a remarkable thing to eat. So check out Smokehouse Pit Barbecue today. You can always check them out on Facebook. See, different events, different musical guests and entertainment they have, say on a Friday night. But, of course, you can just stop by Main Street in Millbrook, where they've always been. And be sure to tell the great folks there at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue that Joey and Eddie and Craig, those guys on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Are you happy with your IT support company? Do they resolve your company's computer issues quickly, or do they leave you down and frustrated? You need your computers working and problems resolved quickly and permanently. GTI is different. GTI has a high standard of affordably supporting and protecting businesses like yours since 1999. Call them now at 819-4650, 819-4650, or visit gtinow.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. This miserable cold rain will finally come to an end later on this evening and tonight and move out. I think overnight we fall close to the freeze mark again, around 32, 33. Saturday's a brisk, cold, raw day with wind chill a factor. Cloudy skies, then eventually sunshine later. High temperature only up to about 40, down to 24 on Saturday night. Sunday's high with sunshine only about 50. Winter hangs on. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon.
Oh man, this show has flown by, Joey.
Been a great show and really enjoyed it. We've been serious. We've been silly. We've been, no, I said serious, not serious, stupid phone.
I listened to you, huh?
Yeah.
Pulling up she-mails. Thank you.
Well, as I've said, I can be tricked. 272-9228. Any man can be tricked, you know. Okay.
I got my brother in trouble because we're in a family group chat and we all share our Wordle scores, and my brother got in too. And if you know my brother, I was like, that didn't happen. So I told his wife to check his Google history. He was like, dude, can I sleep on your couch now? It was a total joke, but it was still funny. I'm like, wait, who still uses Google as their search engine at this point?
Is their main one?
Yeah, no, thank you.
My bad.
No, it's useful for quick, but like if you're actually searching, I've been using Grok mostly. Actually,
Really?
it's pretty accurate.
I use Grok if I have something I want to look and I'm already like scrolling Twitter, I'll use Grok, but I kind of instinctively use GPT still.
Okay.
GPT can really solve a lot of problems. Like it's been a very useful tool. I don't use it for my writing because that's not a line I want to cross.
Right.
But for everything else, it's pretty fantastic. It'll write you a diet if you wanted to. Like you can put in all. I've tried it. You put in all the strictures and restrictions that you want. Say this meal has this many carbs. I want you to make the carbohydrates to be sweet potato, rice, or potato, or whatever.
Wow.
And meal by meal, write me 5 meals, and it'll do it.
All right then.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's pretty fascinating. So you have no excuse, Joey. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair.
Because I know you know how to use AI.
Now with all the revolutions going on in AI to especially all the tech stuff that did come out of this big consumer electronics thing, like a flexible screens and Honda teaming up with Sony for this brand new EV that, you know, I wonder how much American consumers will like it. It starts at $89,000 for the standard model. It does look pretty cool.
It looks cool, but you know,
So,
average American.
I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to say sometimes I feel guilty for not being early onto new technology until I've looked around and seen so many people with creased phone screens, and I'm like, yeah, man, sometimes it's good not to be the first one in the door.
Well, not only that, everything that happened in California. Say you got an electric car. Say your electric car's got 25% charge.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to trust it? But say you got a gasoline engine that's got a quarter tank of gas.
Yeah.
Which one makes you feel better?
Yeah, that's right.
No, and we talked about this off air the other day. I would want a motorcycle.
It's no doubt.
Like just as backup, like a small one to be able to get out
going.
of the situation.
Yeah. Well, I see what I would do. I would double it up. I'd get like a 4Runner with a backup fuel tank in the back, but I'd also have like a dirt bike in the back. So as soon as I hit terrain that I can't cross, we're going mobile, and then we.
I've watched.
And in this scenario, I don't have a family. Sorry, babe.
I've watched too many videos where people have like stash vehicles. Like
Mhm.
they have their vehicle that gets them out of the city, that gets into vehicle B, that gets into vehicle C. I'm like, crap! I barely got vehicle A. Well,
Isn't it? It's kind of true that every man wants a bat cave.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hence the man caves.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, look at some of the basements people have called that their man cave, and you get in there, it's like this thing smells.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I'm a man.
That's right. I'm a man, baby.
Anyway, this one clip, I know folks have been arguing about like bringing in more people legally through immigration, but I think there needs to be an exception for British gingers who are very good looking, who are asking Americans about American institutions. I don't know if y'all caught this clip, but I'll just play it. It's, what's her name? Phoebe is ginger. One. That's her handle. Phoebe is ginger. Let's listen in.
I am wanting to move to America, so please, Americans, can you tell me, number one, if this thing is real, and number two, where the hell it is if it is real? The place in question is Bookies. This is truly everything I have ever dreamed of. There is everything you need, and it's a gas station, not even a convenience store. It is a gas station, and you can fill up your car, and there's so many places to fill up your car. Then you walk in, you can get fresh nuts, fresh
Yes,
sweets,
you can.
fresh meats. Bear in mind, this is just on the side of the road, apparently. There's toilets, there is club melts, pulled pork, sliced briskets, hot sauce, literally anything you can get your hands on. I don't even know
Delicious
what
beef
this is, but
jerky,
it looks
too.
absolutely
Delicious beef jerky.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
delicious, and people are just absolutely feasting themselves on it. My favorite part is all the merchandise. There is
Merchandise.
plushies, there is
Merchandise.
shirts, there is everything you could literally ask for. To top it all
As
off,
opposed to theoretically asking.
there is
for
a
it.
cute mascot to go with it. I
Mascot.
think I found my dream place. Where is Bucky's? I need to go imminently. Some tell me where to go and what I need to bring. What do I bring?
An AR-15. I'm so sick of the Bucky's obsession.
You know, wait, no.
I love me some Buc-ee's. So sick of it. Everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And it's a gas station. It's like, yeah, it's the same as Costco has fuel pumps. Is Costco now a gas station? Because now it outperforms Buc-ee's in every metric. They have TVs.
You're about to go to war with that.
No, I just like the Buc-ee's. I'm not a Buc-ee's nut, but I love being able to. It's got everything I want, and it puts all these other convenience stores to shame.
If you trust me, if you are going on like a road trip, a Buc-ee's is essentially a well in the middle of a desert. It is far superior to anywhere else that you're going to stop.
Sure.
But this sort of like mythical obsession, as if it's some unique enigma in American history. It's like it's a gas station. It's like not really. It has gas pumps, but it's a grocery store.
Let's hear how she says it again.
In question
Buc-ee's.
is Bookies.
Bookies.
They've got clean bathrooms.
Yeah.
Don't knock that.
No, that's
I would sponsor her to immigrate here. We got one in Auburn.
Loves. I think
that's one I go to.
They really are like Loves used to be my
Love's is
go-to,
alright.
but
Yeah.
Buc-ee's.
What used to be the one,
wins.
and I feel terrible for saying it. Back in the day, there used to be like a Buc-ee's before Buc-ee's. I mean, it was when I was a kid, and they used to have one in Hope Hall.
Stuckies.
Stuckies. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I was a kid. That was a Stuckies. They were all up and down the interstate. You could get whatever you wanted to eat. Parents could get gas. They had this kind of stuff, just not that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stopped at the Loves. I'm trying to think of road trips with my dad. We stopped at the Loves right before he crossed the Alabama-Georgia line, or right after.
Got a lot lizards in that. In there,
Oh, I know.
I
And they got a McDonald's too.
A lot of people selling bootleg lottery tickets there. That's a great move.
But as soon as like we got into kind of more Georgia and then South Carolina, like we always stop. He goes to the QT.
QT?
Yeah, the QT actually in Greenville, everything you need.
Yeah.
And you know, I really do want to sponsor this British bird because she's beautiful, and I kind of dig the accent, and she seems easily impressed.
And you just called her a bird, which is a very British thing. So you're halfway
Very much
there.
so.
Mm-hmm.
And you got that hat.
Yeah.
And the scarf.
You're very
British looking
dapper,
today.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Could you take me to a Bookies? I could take a photo with the mascot.
My little Biscoff, would you
And
like to
get
go
some-
see the mascot?
Do they sell vitamin water? The water from the glacier is filled with vitamins.
Yeah.
Truly everything I have ever dreamed of. There is everything you need. And it's a gas station, not even a convenience store. It is a gas station and you can fill up your car. And there's so many places to fill up your car. Then you walk in, you can get fresh nuts.
Easily impressed. I like that.
Also, the Buc-ee's, now they have the electric charging stations. I think they got like 10 or 20 of them. But they don't let 18-wheelers in there. Like if you're an 18-wheeler, you're a driver, truck driver, you cannot park in their parking lot. And if they see your car or your stuff, they kick you out.
Yeah, you kind of, as a former truck driver, while that is frustrating, you really have to do that as a business because it'll be abused.
Your whole parking lot will be
100%. Yeah. 100%. That's why like a lot of Walmarts won't let you do it because it's like it's not that they want to be inhospitable, but if you let one do it, then
you got
they got 15 minutes left before they run out of time for the day. They're pulling over. And that's why when you're traveling at like 10 o'clock at night, every exit ramp is just filled up with trucks on the side, which is technically illegal, but nobody ever gets them in trouble.
No, in fact, many times, especially young traveling back, I had to pull over and sleep like that. I would park between two trucks.
Yeah,
that made me feel a little bit better.
I'm telling you, if you got a little extra cash, like a truck parking place, like especially for people that come home, like a place where they can park their 18-wheelers, you make a
I see that a lot. Where people take like a 1 acre lot, kind of clear it out, and you'll see trucks there on the weekend.
If I had the if I had the expendable money, that's what I would do immediately because there's always people looking for parking.
You ain't kidding. Good idea.
Yeah. Good idea. It's almost like we should talk to someone who knows real estate.
We gotta hit a break, gentlemen.
I'm sorry.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. Going back from Clanton on this beautiful, rainy, cold winter day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we need the rain for the summertime, right?
Of course.
So I'm not going to complain. And if you have this heated floors that we do in your bathroom, you definitely don't complain on a cold winter day when it's cold and miserable outside.
Heck no, heated floors is the way to go.
Better than that.
You're right.
I'm feeling. And what happens, because we live here in the South, we don't have a lot of cold. What, it's about 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
You just don't think about it. And so you end up redoing your bathroom this summer. You never thought about it. And winter hits, you're like, oh, I have messed up. We should have heated these floors. But then it's too late. But if you call Prattville Carpet, I will remind you, and, hey, look, another $1,000, $2,000 to the project. 10 years down the road, you'll never remember spending that money.
There you go. Just that simple, folks. And wait, you're even on a day like this, you're actually driving to folks' homes doing free and home measurements?
Man, I've been to Wetumpka, Montgomery, Prattville, now Clanton, and I headed back to Prattville today.
Well, busy, but that's a good thing.
Hey, we're better than the U.S. Post Office. We don't even take off when a president dies.
There you go.
So folks can still call you at 285-8117?
They can. Call us today.
Again, 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio with Joey and Eddie and those guys.
Hey, y'all have a good weekend.
You too, Ray. See you, brother.
Yeah.
Now, we learned a lot today.
Yes.
But I think the highlight was Trump seems very magnanimous. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
Yeah, he just seems like, he seems kingly even, like accepting everybody, even these Johnny-come-latelys into the fold.
But you went from the unlocked boxes into a statement yesterday that's really talking about free speech. What a difference that is. And So we appreciate that.
Talking about Mark Zuckerberg, but it's not just Zuckerberg who's Johnny come lately that Trump's accepting.
But I think they've gained a lot of respect. We've had everybody. Jeff Bezos came, Bill Gates came, Mark Zuckerberg came. Many of them came numerous times. The bankers have all come. Everybody's coming. I haven't had anybody saying anything bad about me. I'm not used to it.
He does seem like he's in a good...
Yeah. I think he gets it.
Well, what a show. Thank y'all both.
It was great. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to Garth Brooks playing Imagine.
Oh my God. Guy's a serial killer.
No doubt.
Where the
No
bodies,
doubt.
Garth?
The families deserve closure.
And on that morbid note, hey, y'all listen to Happy Hour with Greg Budell and Pamela. They're next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President-elect Trump says he will appeal. Trump has been formally sentenced without penalty in his New York criminal case.